This is a baby with a story. At just 1 month old, she beat up other kids until they ran crying in pain. Looking at their wails, her eyes were filled with world weariness and resignation. You guessed it right, this is a story about soul transmigration. In her previous life, she gave it her all and experienced all of life's flavors, eventually becoming the strongest empress in history. But when she was born, and because she was an illegitimate child, she was abandoned by her father, who was the crown prince. And her mother was equally irresponsible. After taking her to a remote city, she chose to leave on her own. She could only live among beggars, living a life worse than dogs. As a child, she survived on discarded food. Sometimes she would get beaten up fighting over scraps. When she grew older, she learned to deceive and cheat. She had no concept of crime, only wanting to fill her stomach, living aimlessly until age 12, when her life's turning point finally arrived. It was this dojo she deliberately passed by here every day. She heard that learning swordsmanship meant getting fed, and this was a place that taught swordsmanship. At this time, a kind uncle noticed her and invited her in to try some sword moves. "Uncle, I'm just looking." She lifted her clothes, showing she had nothing but rubbish. "See, this is all I have." The uncle indicated he understood. "I have a wooden sword here. If you can defeat anyone in the yard, I'll take you as my disciple and teach you for free." Looking at the sword in her hand, the girl no longer hesitated. The next moment, all the students in the yard were on the ground. The uncle was instantly amazed. This tiny frame contained such immense power, truly a rare talent. Uncle, am I good enough?" The uncle laughed heartily from his core. "Little girl, from today on you are my official disciple." From then on, she understood her life as a beggar was over. Her master also gave her a resounding name called Dante. No longer just a stinky kid in others' mouths. She became the uncle's adopted daughter. The uncle taught Dante swordsmanship without holding anything back. Dante also learned with all her might. This should have been a touching episode. But in reality, she underwent cruel training day after day that was like torture. If it wasn't a bruise on her leg, it was a purple mark on her head. But she never thought about giving up. Even when beaten black and blue, she never thought about running away, because this was so much better than her previous life. Until Dante was 19 years old, when her adoptive father passed away. Although Dante took care of him in his old age and sent him off, his inheritance had nothing to do with Dante. After that, Dante became a lonely young woman again. But she had a new goal in her heart, which was to look forward. One day, she saw a poster for a swordsmanship competition. She wrote down her name without hesitation. She wanted to win first place. She wanted to become somebody. In short, she would never beg for a living again. After the competition, she won first place as she wished and got her first pot of gold. Then through hunting, she also got bounty rewards. She even joined the army, participated in wars, and achieved glorious military merits. These were all simple for her. To strengthen herself, she increased the challenge difficulty. She fought dragons alone and sealed them, becoming a top leader even more famous than heroes. Even when disguised and traveling low-key, she would be surrounded by thousands of fanboys and fangirls. She was just trying to level up. Was there any need to be so excited? At this rate, she could establish a kingdom of fans. At age 23, she was invited into the royal palace. The one sitting was the emperor. The one without a seat was Dante, who remained calm facing the emperor. This person before her was the father who abandoned her. The emperor spoke arrogantly, "My long-lost daughter. From today you can acknowledge your ancestry. I will bestow upon you the surname Renatus." Dante chuckled. "Who knew that thing around my neck was a royal token?" As her fame grew greater, her identity as the emperor's illegitimate daughter was also exposed. "Damn, if I had known this thing was a token, I would have thrown it deep into the mountains long ago." Dante spoke flatly. "Since you want to acknowledge me, what's in it for me?" Hearing this, the emperor looked indifferent. "I've always been a playboy, leaving affection everywhere, with illegitimate children all over the country. Though their qualities vary greatly, I've never seen someone who thinks so highly of themselves as you. But this abandoned child was a hero, and his arrogant self finally had a powerful descendant." Seeing him not speak, Dante laughed coldly. "What? Want to recruit me without offering compensation? You're really unique, trying to get something for nothing." The emperor stamped his feet in anger. "Becoming royal family is already your greatest reward." Dante showed neither joy nor anger. "So you really are trying to get something for nothing? What exactly do you want? Don't tell me you even want my throne." No, considering our blood relation. Just casually give me 10,000 gold taels, several thousand acres of mansions, private territory, a few hundred thoroughbred horses. The emperor was so shocked his jaw nearly dropped. Stop right there, I don't want to give you any of it. Listen well, without benefits I won't lend my good reputation to the royal family, so think carefully before deciding. Being threatened up close by a hero, the emperor didn't dare make a sound. He could only tremblingly agree to Dante's demands. Haha, it felt so good. Dante would never forget the emperor's anxious expression. Soon, the territory and gold promised by the emperor materialized. With food and clothing secured, preparing for a rich life, Dante spent her days planting flowers and enjoying scenery. But that bunch of half-siblings all saw her as a thorn in their side. Even though Dante had clearly stated she wouldn't inherit the throne, they still tried every means to eliminate her. So Dante easily took the throne in one burst of anger, and thus she lived a happy life, enjoying endless glory and wealth. But at age 33, Dante fell. This life was not bad. Every moment was perfectly spent giving it her all. She also experienced all of life's vicissitudes. Dante was tired. If there was a next life, she hoped to become a pet. She didn't want to be human anymore. She had no regrets. But 500 years later, she was born again. She became the beloved treasure of Duke Perez, becoming Helena, the princess beloved by thousands. She was really going crazy, which immortal didn't understand her heart's cry. Being reborn with memories of her past life was too much. After rebirth, she was so cute and innocent, a little darling beloved by thousands. But she didn't feel satisfied. In her last life, she fought all her life. Why did she have to keep past memories after being reborn 500 years later? Others mature early while I age prematurely. A 1-year-old child should just cry all day, while I am calm and wise and never cause trouble. Learning to ride horses at age 2, any casual display would make their jaws drop. I became the family's pride, a prodigy discussed by others over tea and meals. But whoever wants it, please take it. Living is already tiring enough. I lived enough in my last life. Nothing interests me in this life. Goals are even more meaningless. Learning their daughter's thoughts, the couple was frightened. They couldn't understand why their child seemed to live in human purgatory. Seeing this life's parents' faces full of concern and anxiety, Helena had no choice. This made them uneasy. Daughter, is there really nothing that interests you? Why don't we look for something first? Yes, what your father said is right. Tell us anything you want to do anytime. We will support you unconditionally. Looking at parents who cared for her so much, Helena felt herself melting. Did I burn really good incense? To actually have a mother in this life, it really takes some getting used to. Helena really couldn't bear to say more words that would hurt them. All right, I promise you. As long as I don't die young, I will definitely enjoy these good times well. Getting this answer, the couple left satisfied. Especially Mother, who didn't forget to say before leaving, if you have any difficulties, just come find me, love you. Watching them leave, I understand they won't feel at ease about me just like this. But I have no choice. My previous self must have already lived life to the fullest. So in this life, no matter what I do feels boring and troublesome. Helena lay on the bed uninterested. It's really difficult, Og. Which great immortal was it? Making me be born again without giving me the waters of forgetfulness. What a serious work error. The next day, Brother Renard came to the room. My dear sister, have you found something you're interested in? To be honest, I've already pretended to look. Brother comforted. Sister doesn't need to deliberately search. If you really can't find anything, I will support you forever. Even if you become an old lady, I will still support you. This damn gentleness actually coming from a 13-year-old kid. In this family, I care most about this brother, not only cute but also caring, truly a warm little man. By the way, brother, what's that wooden stick in the corner for? Brother explained that he had sword lessons later. The sword teacher was recommended by an acquaintance. Heard he was very strong. Seeing brother's flickering eyes, Helena seemed to find her life's purpose. That is to teach brother swordsmanship. Let him become #1 under heaven. Brother, where are you at in your progress now? Renard indicated. Not sure. The teacher's teaching method confuses me. Since starting class it's been all sparring. Maybe my comprehension isn't good enough. Hearing this, Helena's mind was full of question marks. Not teaching basic knowledge, straight to sparring? From what she knew of her brother, he was a good kid who actively worked hard, with amazing comprehension. Looks like I need to meet this teacher myself. Brother, let's go. Today I'll accompany you to sword practice. Hearing this, Renard was stunned, wondering if he was hearing things. But seeing his sister's determined eyes, he confirmed he wasn't hearing things. Okay sister, let's go now. Renard was full of joy. Things that interested his sister were rare. If sister was interested in sword practice, then as her brother he could feel at ease. Seeing her brother's happy appearance, Helena really didn't want to discourage him. If it wasn't for you, I would absolutely never touch a sword again. At this time, a slovenly voice came through. Oh my, whose cute little lady has the young master brought? Without seeing the person, just hearing the voice, you could tell this wasn't a decent person. If he really really was scamming brother. I'll definitely turn his kidneys into flowers. Hello, I am Renard's sword teacher. Bye. Helena felt disgusted. I'll endure it first, see what tricks he can play. Teacher, this is my sister, she came with me to audit. Helena lifted her skirt, silently chanting, I'm not Emperor Dante now, but the cute baby Helena. Must show proper etiquette. Sir, hello. Please allow me to audit the sword lesson. Seeing this, Bai was very disdainful. Little girl, take my advice. Swordsmanship is a dangerous sport. I don't recommend girls auditing. Is that so? Bai continued, although it sounds cruel, women really aren't suited for swordsmanship. Helena looked puzzled. Did this idiot drink fake alcohol and go crazy? So you think Emperor Dante was male? But Bai just kept laughing. The one you mentioned wasn't even an earthly species. And I firmly believe her achievements were all exaggerated, so she had no real ability. Hearing this, Helena clenched her fists, silently admonishing herself not to get angry with a kid born 500 years after her. Bai still continued his suicidal path. Little girl, please step aside. I'm going to start teaching swordsmanship. I really can't take it anymore. I need to beat this guy up to feel better. Just then, brother suddenly stood up and emphasized, it doesn't matter what Helena is interested in, it's none of your business, shut up. At this moment, Bai felt offended. Helena felt very gratified. Indeed, it's my cute brother, so warm and loving. Bai grinned. Looks like today's young master is very brave. If you want to refute me, please pick up your weapon and defeat me. Bai rambled on. I am a man with supreme skills. It's the greatest tragedy of your young life to meet mature mage. Helena was deflated. What kind of thing is this? His foul mouth can be smelled from 3 meters away. His speaking manners are worse than a dog's. Actually wanting to embarrass my brother who wants to take care of me until I'm old. Brother's potential had been successfully unleashed, but this so-called sword teacher had no real skills, yet only knew how to expose brother's weaknesses. Sure enough, without basics and feeling anxious, brother was defeated repeatedly. Bai, who had the upper hand, further trampled brother's self-esteem. Are you going to concede defeat? Your sister is still watching. He used Renard's defeat as entertainment. As a teacher, he really lowered the quality of the teaching profession. The arrogant guy made Helena very unhappy. Her keen sense had already captured Bai's weakness. Next, your moment of glory will become past tense. This guy's swordsmanship is really worse than street performers. Plus his weird self-created moves are just annoying. On a battlefield, he definitely wouldn't outlast me. Pa, he's not worthy of the word outlast. He only deserves to be a deserter. Helena waved her little hand, calling her brother who was taking a mid-match break. Brother, do you trust me? Brother indicated, sister is the light in darkness, of course I trust you. Helena leaned to brother's ear. When sparring later, you need to watch his lower body well. His footwork is poor. When the time comes, thrust hard. Do you understand? Will this really work? You can do it. Beat him and you'll be the most handsome guy in the Duke's mansion. Looking at his sister's confident eyes, Renard also felt he was the most handsome guy. Before the second round of battle began, Bai humming a tune came forward to provoke directly. Renard didn't respond, picked up the wooden sword and walked over. At this moment he was like a hero standing on the battlefield. Not bad, young master. Looks like the little lady's cheering is quite effective. Come, please begin your performance. Facing a man stronger than him, he must concentrate fully. Bai's provocation didn't work. Brother with sister's cheering had become Dante-possessed. Just wait and see, hateful Bai. This time brother performed well, facing Bai's attacks calmly. After failing to break through for long, Bai started verbal attacks. Ignorant brat. Come taste my graceful radio calisthenics sword technique. I won't go easy on a 10-something-year-old kid. The rain-like attacks made Renard use all his strength to defend. Couldn't find a chance to attack his weakness. And right at this time, Bai finally exposed his lower body weakness. Helena got so excited she almost shouted out, that guy's move full of holes, brother must catch it. Renard also didn't hesitate anymore. Seizing the chance, he thrust hard. Perfect, he hit the living target in one shot. Bai was stabbed with heart-wrenching pain. Renard's mood right now was indescribable. Helena's heart was quite calm though. Brother's comprehension ability is still very strong. I only taught him once and he achieved a perfect strike. Suddenly feeling a bit excited, when my adoptive father from my last life discovered me, he probably felt this way too. Helena cutely congratulated brother. You won. Could the future first sword saint be you? Brother indicated it was all thanks to sister's good teaching. But Bai still stubbornly insisted while lying on the ground, struggling with his injured body and roaring. This is an underhanded trick, a despicable method. I strongly condemn your behavior. Oh? An adult who can't accept losing, throwing a tantrum here. Just you stinky girl. I warn you, don't interfere in men's business. Hearing this, Helena's face completely darkened. She strongly held back her hysterical shout. Looks like I need to beat him up personally before he'll be convinced. She took brother's wooden sword. Standing 2 meters 8, sword pointing at Bai. Pick up your sword, let me show you what true pinnacle swordsmanship is. Bai suddenly stood up. Facing a little girl of just a few years old, he regained confidence. A mere woman trying to play hero? Let me tell you up front, any injury you receive has nothing to do with me. Helena was really speechless. Your expression looks like an excited pile of shit. The Bai was indeed excited. He was determined to win this battle, already happy to the point of swaying east and west. But meeting a reborn girl was the greatest tragedy of his life. Helena fought while explaining to brother. Use the opponent's arm force's inertia. Circle around one side of the body. When his center of gravity is unstable, aim at his waist. This is too much. Helena hadn't even started taking it seriously. How did Bai already lie down and start calling for mommy? Bai knocked to the ground, simply couldn't believe it. Was this little girl human or ghost? Renard couldn't believe it either. Why was my sister so excellent? Helena tossed the sword aside. People who bully me, whether in past life or present life, I won't let them off. What was your name again? Doesn't seem important now, you're fired. Just like that, reborn Helena finally found her goal in this life. That is to be brother's sword teacher. Hope this decision will be interesting. But when parents learned the news, they turned to stone. Did this child learn swordsmanship in dreams? Helena was very confident, her face full of determination. Parents really didn't want to discourage her. Since daughter was interested, then let her do it. A week flew by. Father couldn't help calling Helena to the study. The Bai you fired was indeed an unimpressive person. Failed grades, got into fights, had a terribly bad reputation. Even his resume was fabricated. If you hadn't discovered in time, your brother might have been ruined for life. But you wanting to be brother's teacher, isn't that a bit too childish? Want to make a bet? Father thinks I haven't learned swordsmanship, so you want to test me? Yes, that's what I mean. You finally found something interesting, but I don't want to discourage your enthusiasm. Next week there's a guest coming who's about your brother's age. Hearing this, Helena smiled lightly. You want brother to defeat the guest, right? My cute brother's learning ability is very strong. After my teaching, his chances of winning are quite high. Father's eyes were full of challenge. Looks like I can only accept. But the next words made Helena freeze. That guest turned out to be Prince Caesar. My father in this life, if you want to witness a miracle, at least choose someone else. Let brother defeat the prince? I've never heard of anything so absurd in either of my lives. He's practiced nothing but swordsmanship since childhood. Having a novice brother win against him, isn't that too far-fetched? The difference between them is indescribable. Father, are you giving me a hard time? Or giving me a hard time? Or really giving me a hard time? Soon the enemy arrived at the scene. Heard the prince's pupils were red. Speaking of which, before I died I passed the throne to someone with red eyes too. It was my only friend Duke Erez. At this time the prince walked up. After Helena curtsied, she secretly observed him. The prince really looked like Erez. Seems he didn't let down my important task. The prince suddenly turned away, saying he didn't need such hypocritical greetings. The siblings thought, what's with this person? Though our greeting hearts were fake, the movements were real. Really headache-inducing. I can only discipline you on behalf of my only friend. Helena spoke directly without thinking. Then what kind of greeting do you want? Little brat. Being called little brat made the prince very angry now. He looked at the girl reaching out to him. Really wanted to flatten her. For a moment, the scene was filled with gasps. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. Especially the couple, they were stunned. The prince was extremely angry. You treat me like this, I'll let you know how strong I am. The tutor officer forcefully grabbed both their hands, smiling on one side, crying on the other, awkwardly curling toes. What a wonderful thing this is, everyone's made new friends, we must all get along well. The prince turned his head and coldly snorted. Little princess, I'm not called little brat. Please call me your highness. Helena was very curious why this kid just endured it. The plot shouldn't be crying and making a fuss about going home? Just then, Helena's expression changed. This little prince was actually playing dirty tricks. Little brat learned some swordsmanship and thinks he's invincible? Really makes me laugh. I've reached the pinnacle of swordsmanship. How can kindergarten power compare with pinnacle power? Watch carefully, little brat. Just palm strength isn't enough. The grip position and joints are what's most important. The prince suddenly withdrew his arm. His face was pale, feeling like his hand had been bitten by a snake. The tutor officer hurriedly went to comfort him, but the prince said he was fine. He has dignity, how can such embarrassing things be told? Then your highness, why did you shout so loudly just now? Shut up, you clueless fool. Helena's face was full of smiles. This kid is indeed Erez's descendant, doesn't like to tattle, must give him extra chicken legs tonight. Really looking forward to spending summer with you, better not provoke me again. Otherwise, Otherwise what? Come bite me. A gentleman's revenge can wait 10 years, just you wait and siege. Smoke filled the entire Duke's mansion. Grade school kids fighting. Let's watch slowly who wins in this open and hidden struggle. Soon after, Helena was called to Mother's room. It turned out Prince Highness had just lost his mother. Coming to the Duke's mansion was to clear his mind. Mom feared Helena wouldn't understand, even continued with tears and crying tone. Only you and brother are his age in the family, so you must treat him well. Helena nodded. As long as he doesn't come provoke me, I won't actively gouge his eyeballs. Mom was very gratified, praising Helena for being so smart. Since his mother passed away, the prince cried his eyes out. But royal struggles won't stop because of the queen's death. The little prince lost his protector. The royal city was in chaos. He was so young, could be assassinated any minute. And so, Helena was educated by mother for an hour. After leaving the room, Helena felt though the prince was unlucky, he was still very punchable. Coming to the Duke's mansion, not only not being friendly but putting on an arrogant attitude, Helena waved her little baby fist. This little prince must find a place without adults to beat him up to feel happy. Just then a voice came. Sorry for getting you scolded by the madam because of earlier. I waited here to apologize to you. Though your attitude was somewhat rude before, I didn't take it to heart, so you don't need to feel too bad. But Helena didn't care. Prince Caesar, you seem to have misunderstood me. I still want to flatten you. You'd better take back your words. Being so disrespectful to elders is a great offense. Helena looked to one side. Where are the elders? I don't see any. The elder is right here. I am pure royal bloodline. Helena still didn't care. Your Highness, you seem to have forgotten something important. Your current situation is very dangerous. You need the Duke family's help. Don't put on your prince airs. Caesar was stunned. Yes, what status do I have to speak of? I'm just a pitiful wretch. Looking at the prince lowering his head, Helena was very pleased. After a mental struggle, Caesar spoke, completely losing his previous aura. I was only waiting here to clear up misunderstandings. I'm sorry, couldn't control my temper. The sudden change in tone shocked Helena. How did the little evil wolf turn into a little sheep? Caesar continued. I also know I'm like a disaster star now, not welcomed by anyone. After all, accepting me is equivalent to becoming enemies with the Valier family of the Empress Dowager. I'm also very clear about my position. I will be a burden to your family now. So when I said hypocritical greetings, I meant you don't need to pretend to warmly welcome me. That's all I wanted to say. I'll go now. Caesar was like a defeated rooster. Only Helena was left bewildered in the wind. Wait a minute, why do I feel like I've become the bad guy? Really headache-inducing. I seem to have bullied an innocent kid. I originally wanted to teach him how to be a good person, didn't expect his pressure to be so great. It's too late to regret now. Anyway, I still have to defeat this kid later. Consider this early psychological attack. If you want to be strong, there's no way around it. You must work very hard to survive. Helena quietly watched the direction the prince left for a long time. Sighing softly, she quietly left. Sister, did you make up with his highness? Helena tilted her little mouth. Practice your sword well, strive to challenge him early. Renard awkwardly scratched his head. But father reminded me I think we can get along harmoniously with him. After all, he just lost a loved one, so he's very lonely now. You really are a pure and kind little darling. Come, continue swinging, don't stop. Swing another 10,000 times. Brother was very obedient and did as told. Not to mention 10,000 times, he would do 1,000,000 times. Since sister completely defeated that fraud teacher, Renard followed sister's words without question. If she told him to go east, he really wouldn't dare go west. This boy neither eats nor drinks, only practices swordsmanship. Even under the blazing sun, he never utters a word of complaint. Just for this fierce determination alone, his sister feels compelled to teach him wholeheartedly. As brother's strength grows day by day, it's time to scout out the enemy's situation. Brother, keep practicing, don't stop. Sister will help you assess their abilities. Alright sister, I'll complete the remaining 10,000 sword swings. Helena observed secretly without knocking. But the sound of the wooden door interrupted those inside. May I admire the prince's magnificent swordsmanship? The instructor indicated it was fine. Are you learning swordsmanship too? You must be curious about the palace's sword techniques. Helena nodded. Your Highness, may I be a quiet spectator? Caesar expressed indifference. This prince is like a bristling wildcat, stubborn and annoying. If he agrees, just say agree, saying whatever just makes people irritated. As the practice began, Helena carefully observed his weaknesses. As she watched, Helena's eyes grew wide. This kid is quite good, with quick reactions and strong focus. For his age group, he's really impressive. If brother is the hardworking type, then he's definitely the genius type. Helena nervously gripped her skirt. Brother's current level couldn't even touch Caesar's fingernails. Thinking about brother's weak yet determined figure, My face feels like it's been slapped. After practice ended, the instructor showered the prince with flattery. To scout the enemy's situation, Helena offered a clean warm towel with both hands. Quickly wipe your sweat, don't let it splash on me. Caesar was bewildered, then stay away from me. Helena pretended to be innocent. Your Highness's skills truly opened my eyes. If your Highness isn't too exhausted, would you care to have a match with me? Both were shocked as if their hearts skipped a beat. Are you asking to be humiliated? Well, I'm serious. No, you're not. How could I face the Duke's household if you get hurt? The instructor chimed in. Yes, how could we stay if you get hurt? Although knowing they were concerned for her, Helena had to find the prince's weakness no matter what. Looks like your Highness is afraid of losing. How about this, let's have a match, the winner will receive a reward. The loser must unconditionally fulfill one wish of the victor. This girl's bizarre logic made the instructor's head hurt. Your Highness, just reject her and be done with it. But the prince held his wooden sword to his chest. The one who can't take losing is a puppy. Naturally, whoever breaks their word is a puppy. Then don't cry later. The word cry doesn't exist in my dictionary. A fierce battle was about to begin. The poor soul who was pulled in as referee had tears streaming down his face. I thrust, I'll flatten you into a big fool. I block, I'll take down your kidneys. Who knew the prince's reaction speed would be so quick? Helena's kidneys almost got taken. Caesar's fierce assault made Helena startled. But a 10-something-year-old child is no match for me. She dodged with light, graceful steps. Her wrist flexibly turned the sword tip diagonally upward. Caesar was stunned as his swordsmanship was red. How can the young lady's swordsmanship be so magical? Defense and attack flowing seamlessly, how does she do it? After another exchange, both parties moved back. Caesar couldn't help but smile wickedly. Looks like you're quite a formidable opponent, I shouldn't have shown mercy. You talk too much, when did I see you showing any mercy? Like using a small knife to cut your bottom, you've opened my eyes. Caesar was angered till his heart raced. I won't go easy for victory. Without another word, they charged at each other again. If you don't want to fall in an unsightly pose, I can still let you save face if you beg for mercy now. A man will never surrender. Almost forgot. This is a clever prince. In that case, I can only use that move. The strength of 10 oxen and 3 tigers. He definitely can't block this one. Victory is decided. Don't struggle in vain. But something unexpected happened. Caesar raised his arm to block the attacking blade. Helena froze. This madman, if I hadn't held back 9 oxen and 2 tigers worth of strength, his arm would have been done for. But Caesar didn't care about that. Taking advantage of Helena's momentary shock, he launched a sneak attack. The instructor on the side trembled with fear, quickly calling for a stop. Caesar looked at the instructor who came running over. I was about to win, why did you stop us? Helena let out a breath beside them. You little darling. I'm truly impressed. If this were a real sword, your Highness would have lost 2 ounces of flesh. Caesar touched his shoulder, ungratefully saying, what if my arm breaks? The one whose head gets cut off is the real loser. The instructor collapsed, begging the 2 powerhouses to stop arguing. Enough is enough. Caesar felt unsatisfied. I'll go treat my injury first. Next time I'll definitely fight you again. Helena remained silent, then suddenly burst into laughter. She looked at her tingling palms, showing an excited expression. This kid is truly a rare talent. If both Renard and Caesar can be cultivated into talents, then the Duke's mansion's threshold will surely be worn down by visitors. That evening, Mother couldn't help but wonder, why hasn't His Highness come down for dinner yet? Hearing this, Helena felt very uneasy, her heart pounding. She tried to convince herself, he just doesn't want to eat dinner. Not because I stabbed his arm with my sword. Yes, he's just not hungry and picky about food. Though thinking this way, Helena couldn't get over this hurdle in her heart. She anxiously knocked on the prince's door. Caesar's voice came from inside. Hearing his voice still so arrogant and domineering, I'm sure there's nothing seriously wrong. Helena gently pushed open the door. The sight before her made her eyes widen. Kid, you're quite the actor. Quick, tell me those bandages aren't real. Helena felt truly guilty, really wanting to slap herself against the wall. Doing such a thing to a child, I really let down my past life's brilliance. Caesar, seeing her worried look, laughed. Don't worry, come sit down. Helena asked with concern if a doctor had come to check the injury. The doctor just came to check, it's just a minor injury, if he had come any later it might have already healed. Helena shook her head, stop joking around, this isn't a minor injury, I understand this kind of pain. If you don't cooperate with treatment you'll have lingering effects later, it'll ache before it rains. How do you know that? In my past life I faced attacks head-on just like the prince, but I can't tell others about my past life. Actually I just got hurt playing around before. Caesar expressed doubt. But Helena immediately changed the subject, when are you planning to report this to my father? I wouldn't do something so childish. I thought your highness hated me. Even if I hate someone I wouldn't talk bad about them behind their back. The prince's magnanimity completely exceeded Helena's expectations. Aren't you the same? What's there to hate? Helena found the prince more and more adorable, cultivating him into a genius would definitely be interesting. I really like you, your highness. But at this moment Caesar had no reaction. Looking carefully he was actually blushing. Suddenly Caesar became angry from embarrassment, if it weren't for your move being too harsh, I wouldn't have become an injured kid. The moment I blocked the attack. I was really scared to death by you. So your highness, why did you still rush in like a moth to a flame to block the attack when you knew your arm would get hurt? Caesar complained gloomily, how would I know what strange wish you'd make if you won? How difficult could a wish from a powerless young lady be to fulfill? Actually, I just wanted your highness to be my little follower, isn't that a piece of cake for you? Hearing this, Caesar became even more irritated, I knew you weren't up to any good. As a prince, I could never follow your wishes. Come on, I'm super sweet. If you had one, what kind of wish would you have made? Caesar was stunned by the question. Don't mess with me, my wish is something you really can't fulfill. Stingy, drinking cold water, I've told you mine but you won't tell me yours. The prince immediately shouted, you're truly a dropout from compulsory education, no manners. After saying this, Caesar deflated like a punctured balloon. Alright, would you please call me Caesar? My wish is just to have everyone call me by my name. Helena was puzzled. Was it necessary to risk breaking your arm just to make such a simple wish? Actually, this is a major taboo in the royal family. For someone thick-skinned like you, it's easy. But when I gathered my courage to ask everyone to do this, someone actually knelt down immediately. Thinking I had done something wrong, I cried. I really wasn't trying to pressure them. Helena could understand Caesar's feelings. When she was empress, she truly had no real friends. Those who supported her did so only because she held power. Once she asked Erez to call her by name in private. But that rigid fellow refused with a serious face. That dead donkey face is still fresh in her memory. Thinking of this, Helena's eyes dimmed. Fine, I can call you by name, no need to make it a wish. The prince felt like he was hearing things. Say that again. From now on we're friends, Caesar, would you like that? Being called by his name, Caesar's mood bloomed like a flower, joyful like a singing bird. His little face turned red, his thoughts jumping uncontrollably. If I had known it would be this simple, I would have chosen a more fun wish. This little kid is quite clever. In an instant, Caesar's face turned red as an apple. Seeing this, Helena laughed heartily. Let's see but not say, from now on we're good friends, no laughing, little kid. From then on, the three became inseparable. Playing cards carefree every day. With the rainy season's arrival, each day was nothing but lazing around. Even pigs weren't this idle. At this time, the instructor spoke lazily. They say during this weather, the Duke's mansion has that thing. Everyone looked over puzzled. Has what? Accompanied by the rumbling thunder, this man who was trying to be mysterious slowly uttered one word. Ghost. In an instant, the whole room was filled with darkness and desolation. The two little ones resonated, you can't scare us. But their trembling bodies had already betrayed their minds. Only Helena remained calm. I was the strongest empress from 500 years ago, instructor, you're being a bit childish. The instructor continued, this ghost is in the basement. The Duke doesn't let you go in freely because he's afraid you'll be scared. Caesar immediately interrupted, asking Renard if this was true. Yes, father indeed doesn't let us go there or we'll be punished to kneel. The instructor pressed his advantage. Yes, the ghost is very powerful. As if on cue, suddenly there was a knock at the door. The two little ones jumped in fright. Sorry to disturb everyone. The Duke needs to see the instructor. Alright, I'll go right away. Looking at the closed door, Helena couldn't help but sigh. Is the instructor under this much pressure? Saying such strange things to scare people, who would believe such ghost stories? But Caesar stated that ghosts truly exist. If you don't believe it, tonight let's go investigate the basement. Renard nodded, but Helena expressed she wouldn't go. You're really childish, I said. I don't believe it. Are you listening through your nose? Stop spraying saliva everywhere. Aren't you curious what your family's ghost looks like? Helena flopped onto the ground. If you want to go, then go. Whoever wants to go can go. I won't go even if you kill me. But by deep night, Helena still came to the basement door with them. No choice, the little ones had used provocation tactics, perfectly forcing Helena to agree. Hoped to finish appreciating the ghost and get home early. But these two taking so long just to open a door, Helena really couldn't stand it. Let me do it. Back in the day I used to roam around and learned a bit of everything. Opening a lock will amaze you. Sister, you're an angel, no one in the world can compare to you. As the door opened, a wave of hot air hit their faces. The environment here was full of haze, not only humid but also had a strong dusty smell. Helena gave herself a pep talk. In case they get hurt, she'd still have to take care of them. Soon the three reached the end of the basement, looking at the empty space. It doesn't seem that scary, nothing but the sound of flowing water. Alright, since there's no ghost here, let's head back. Yeah, we came for nothing. At this moment Helena felt a chill, even though it was hot above. Why was it so cold here? Renard's face was filled with terror. Wait, what is that thing over there? Looking carefully. Damn, run. Can you two useless pieces stop howling like wolves and crying like ghosts? And my poor slippers, can you let me put them on before running? I knew it would end up like this, though I didn't have high hopes for their courage. But at least in their panic they remembered to carry me by the waist. They ran while screaming. Coming here they were neat and orderly without heartbeats. Leaving they made sounds announcing it to the world. I'm really unlucky. Why did I have to raise my hand with them to the basement? Why did I have to kneel with them for punishment? This shouldn't be the ending. Renard said, we told you there was a ghost, do you believe it now? Shut up, don't say such scary things. Alright, stop arguing, actually that was a mirage. Hearing this, Renard felt relieved. But Caesar discovered a flaw. A mirage happens when light reflects existing scenery into the sky to make it clear. Fine, then maybe it was a portrait being reflected. But there's no such portrait in the basement. Caesar, can you shut up? I feel goosebumps all over. Suddenly, earth-shattering thunder came from outside the window. The three hugged each other, wailing along with the lightning flashes. They trembled while confessing their sins to the ghost. Until the next morning, the instructor was beaming. Seeing you look so pitiful, actually that was a blue and white tile reflecting through water at the bottom, making it look so spectacular. Something everyone in the Duke's mansion knows about, yet you didn't know. How can the instructor relieve stress by scaring us? And so, the three created a piece of black history worth remembering. From then on, the three became friends who shared everything. This pure and sincere friendship was wonderful. Summer solstice arrived. Prince Caesar's arm had almost healed. There was word of a festival near the Duke's city. Helena, shall we go play there? But Helena only focused on teaching her brother swordsmanship, showing no interest in other matters. Caesar got angry. Stingy, drinking cold water. I don't believe you're not interested in festivals. Helena stated, even with a knife at my throat I wouldn't go. But seeing her brother's soft puppy eyes, Helena gave in. Fine, I'll go. My head hurts. Which sentence made me an empress fall for their trap? Helena snuck around with them, hiding from the instructor. I'm really forcing a smile, you're so mischievous. Aren't you worried about creating distance with our lovely instructor? Caesar chattered on and on, blabbering endlessly. But I can understand Caesar's mood. The instructor is also worried about your identity being exposed. Just like now, someone has already set their sights on us three little ones. Dressed luxuriously without guards, practically telling bad guys to come grab us. Helena glanced sideways, hard to tell if they were after money or people. This blonde man actually showed a bold look. No. He was looking at Helena. Want to run? Helena instantly activated emergency run mode. What's wrong with her? Must have discovered some treasure. I'll look for something, you stay here and don't wander off. Helena followed all the way to a dead end. Let's see you escape now. But strangely, the blonde had vanished. This isn't right, could he turn invisible? Just then, the blonde appeared behind her. I am Noelle, I've been waiting for you. Helena quickly did a Thomas spin turn. When did my reactions become so slow? He appeared behind me and I didn't even notice. However, he bowed to me. I really can't figure out who you are. The blonde had tears streaming down his face. You look so cute now, your birth was beyond my expectations. Helena was completely confused. What are you saying? That's a lot of information, could you be more specific? You are my only king for 500 years, I've thought about meeting you earlier every day, but this body can't hold on much longer. Helena's head hurt, he spoke with such detail and conviction, but I really didn't know him in my past life. Suddenly the blonde stood up, your companions are coming to find you, I must leave. Before my lamp runs dry I will definitely come find you. Seeing the man about to leave, Helena quickly tried to stop him. Hey, explain clearly. But Caesar successfully stopped her. Helena, what are you doing? Acting alone is very dangerous. Helena looked anxious, I still have so many questions to ask. How did he disappear again? Who is he? How much does he know? It was clearly a dead end, yet he vanished without a trace. Helena, what's wrong? Calm down, were you drugged? Although knowing Caesar was concerned about her, Helena was still angry. Alright, someone just asked for directions earlier. But this made the two little ones confused, you think we'll believe that? Helena also felt this excuse was a bit weak, but she was too lazy to explain. Shouldn't Caesar let go of my little hand? After all, men and women should keep their distance. Has it been too long since he held a girl's hand? Well, good that you're okay. Brother also came forward with concern. Sister, is your hand alright? It's fine, just the wrist hurts a bit, maybe someone wasn't very gentle. Caesar was internally devastated. I was too anxious earlier, didn't mean to. I should call the instructor over for protection. He's really such a darling. You're the one who shook off the instructor into the horizon, where are you going to find him now? Don't worry, because whenever something like this happens he'll wait for me at our meeting spot. Helena suggested brother should go too, that person might appear again. But Caesar angrily refused, I really thank you, you're planning to send us away, right? What if you get lured away by strangers with cookies again? Before Helena could quibble, the prince ordered. You two wait here, I'll be back soon. Watching Caesar's departing direction, Renard felt the prince had become an errand boy. Brother once again showed concern for sister. Did that person hurt you earlier? No, he had no ill intentions. Renard held his sister tight. As long as you're safe, I'm relieved, it's all my fault, insisting on bringing you out, thankfully you're okay. Brother is simply a combination of cuteness and kindness, far better than that easily angered Caesar by hundreds of times. Helena also hugged Renard tightly. Brother is so good, brother is the best in the world. Whatever past life, whatever woman, whether that person is called Noel or Enal doesn't matter to me, having family's care in this life is enough. Suddenly, Helena's eyes widened, she felt her heart pounding. All because of her current self being too rash and confident. If bad people want to approach someone, they would definitely choose the child who's alone. Oh shit. She hurriedly pushed Renard away. Brother, I have a bad feeling Caesar might be in danger. It's all my fault dwelling on what happened earlier. Caesar is still the first heir to the throne, people lurking in the darkness are eyeing him hungrily, I actually overlooked this. Sister, going to look blindly won't help either, you need to calm down. Helena panted. No. Brother, let's split up, you go find the instructor, I'll check the red light district, feel there's a high chance Caesar is there. Helena felt her judgment must be right. If Caesar was kidnapped, they would definitely hide him there. Brother, you have long legs and run fast, quickly go get help, I'll take care of myself, won't be in any danger. Seeing his sister's determined look, Renard hesitantly left. This is terrible. Helena had already circled the red light district 3 times, still with no clue. If something happens to Caesar here, our family would be in huge trouble. I must stay calm, just need to find Caesar, confirm he's safe, then wait for the instructor's rescue. Just then, a faint sound came from the left alley. Must be here. Helena ran following the sound. Looking at the tightly closed door, she brought out her special skills. In no time she picked open the door. Voices could be heard from inside. Let's use a knife? Are you stupid? We said to make it look like an accident. Helena tiptoed in quietly. The voice inside continued. Then I'll throw him in the river, even Sherlock Holmes wouldn't guess why this kid ended up in a fish's mouth. What a great idea. You haven't messed up this time. By now Helena had snuck into the room, she quietly observed. Good, Caesar is still breathing. These two guys don't seem particularly smart, all I can do now is stay calm. Quietly wait for the instructor. Prince Caesar is going to smash their faces. But helpless in his current predicament, he could only let them be fierce. Caesar condemned society's darkness. Why isn't it all sunshine and brightness? Helena, hiding nearby, broke out in cold sweat. With Caesar making such a fuss, it'll be trouble if more bad guys come. Looks like the plan to wait for the instructor needs to change. Have to go with plan B, self-rescue. She lifted a stool and smashed it hard on the ground. The loud noise drew attention from inside. What's that sound? You go check, I'll watch this kid. When he ran outside, Helena had already quietly entered the room. At her current height, it's quite difficult to strike a grown man's waist, can only break his knees first. Just one hit. The bad guy fell to his knees in pain. Before he could react, another strike to his face. He instantly lost consciousness. Caesar was in tears. Helena, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. We're in great danger now, must escape while we can. But unexpectedly, after just a few steps, they were discovered by another accomplice. Helena shouted, run in the opposite direction. The back door was already open, just need to shake off this guy. The back door was right in front of them, if they could escape through here, they'd be safe immediately. Suddenly the back door opened from outside. Could it be the reinforcements brother brought? But when they saw who it was, both felt a chill run up their spines. There was another person. Little brats, you have nowhere to run. He slowly drew his sharp sword. Since the little brats won't behave, I'll have to take your lives. When Helena tried to counterattack, Caesar blocked the sword with his back. The sword went in 3 inches, the wound could be 10 meters deep. Caesar still worried about her. Helena, run quick, don't mind me. Helena's eyes widened. Holding the slowly falling Caesar, she had lost her composure, only the bad guys kept shouting. Looking at Caesar's flowing blood, Helena's inner rage surged. At this time, a bad guy grabbed Helena's hair. But what he got in return was Helena's lightning-fast counterattack. The bad guy screamed in heart-wrenching pain. I wanted to live this life peacefully, but what I got was a painful experience. Today you all must give up your lives because now I'm really angry. Looking at the boy who fainted protecting her, she screamed, you all must die. She leaped high and seized a weapon like a tornado. The bad guys in the room were eliminated. Just because I don't carry needles and knives doesn't mean I can't use them. I'll destroy anyone who bullies me. Helena proudly wiped the blood from her face. Don't mess with me because I'm not afraid of death. Just then, Renard arrived with reinforcements, but the scene before them left him dumbfounded. The instructor was also in disbelief. This 10-something-year-old young lady was simply beyond words. Which master had taught her? So young yet so formidable. Although her intelligence was sufficient, Helena still couldn't overcome her young body. After returning that day, she was sick for 3 whole days, just a poor little thing in her brother's arms. The doctor said her ankle ligaments and arm muscles were strained. What a troublesome and exhausting day. However, it was worth celebrating that Caesar was still alive. Thinking about it this way made it worthwhile. Unfortunately, I was called over by father. What kind of punishment would a little one like me receive? Or perhaps he wanted to praise me for successfully rescuing his highness. But father had a serious face. Helena mumbled while her brain raced. Seems like I don't have much sense of humor. Father pressed his brow. Helena, we trust your abilities, that's exactly why we're more worried. What? You're afraid I'll overshadow brother's brilliance? Come on, your father has eaten more salt than you've drunk mineral water. We can see you have no interest in those things. Actually, father was afraid Helena's excellence would involve her in something she couldn't handle. Dad can understand your excellence, but what parent would want their 10-year-old daughter to face danger alone? Helena fell silent. This life's father doesn't want his daughter to suffer any harm. Last life's father only cared about my fame and fortune. One touches the heart while the other is a beast in human clothing. The instructor wants to take you to the capital. He wants to find an excellent teacher to train you. I didn't agree to this, let you decide yourself. Helena wasn't surprised. I was the strongest sword god in my past life. Everything had to control its temper when seeing me. Being discovered as extraordinarily talented was normal. But what interests me is teaching brother swordsmanship. Seeing him seriously engaged makes me quite happy. Father, I won't go, I'm content being with brother at home. Alright, Daddy promises your matches with Caesar will end here, go do what interests you. The 10-year-old girl before him had a serious expression. The boy remained silent, quietly looking at Helena. The girl felt guilty towards the boy behind her. Back then it was all because of her hesitation that Caesar got hurt. Who knew where he found the courage to take that hit for me? I wanted to visit him, but standing at his door my thoughts were in disarray. What should I say to him? Maybe I should just go back. Where are you going? The sudden voice made Helena jump. Why are you standing behind me without making a sound? Caesar shrugged. I just went to take a leak. Came back to find you talking to yourself in front of my door. Are you here to laugh at me? Helena was speechless. Shut up, I'm here to check on your recovery. You're such a boring princess, can't take a joke, don't worry about this minor injury. Just give it time to leave a scar. Should we call you Scarface from now on? Future Caesar won't be able to get married. Who would like a man with scars? Caesar jumped up from his bed at the teasing. If I can't get married, you'll have to become a spinster too. Helena showed a smug expression. Being alone is fine. After all, my brother said he'd take care of me for life. Hearing this, Caesar was very unhappy. No way, not allowed, I don't agree. He angrily turned around in his bed, still muttering. If I can't get married because of the scar, you'll have to take full responsibility. I don't want to be tied to you, there would definitely be too many troublesome things that can't be shaken off. You're really annoying, always complaining about things being troublesome. I'm not talking to you anymore. Seeing Caesar not speaking, Helena found teasing him quite fun. She couldn't stop. But he did look quite haggard and was trembling. Caesar, are you planning to keep silent? Caesar curled up in his blanket and mumbled. Actually, I'm scared to sleep alone. Whenever I close my eyes, those bad guys appear before me talking. I'm more afraid of returning to the familiar yet strange imperial city. If I'm not wrong, they'll kidnap me again. Helena tried to console him, but his small body bore countless scars. Caesar, don't be so distressed, my father and the tutor will protect you. But Caesar suddenly became agitated. But where were they when I was being bullied? How long can they protect me? I don't want the throne, I don't care about it. Helena fell silent. After all, this kid was only 10 years old, being scared was natural. Others envied him for being born with a silver spoon, but who understood the fear in his heart and everything he endured. But this couldn't go on. Caesar, think carefully, can you escape disaster just by being afraid? If you give up the throne, even those protecting you won't care anymore, those bastards will do anything to kill you. Helena wasn't exaggerating, this was from experience, just like her half-siblings from her previous life. Only by eliminating them all would the world be quiet. You are the crown prince, first in line to succession. I know, I understand, but I don't have strong wings. Helena pointed with her thumb. I know you're not in control, but they can't hurt you if you become strong. Caesar said he couldn't do it. I'm not as strong as you say. Helena disagreed with Caesar's words. You showed true royal dignity when you took that blade from me. Such people are always so lonely. His mother's passing left him isolated. Enemies were like viruses, leaving him helpless in his weakness. He needed someone to warm his heart, and only Helena could fulfill that role. If you want to become strong, you must be brave. Don't overthink about enemies, confidently fight for the throne. I will support you, I'll be your strong backbone. Helena's words restored Caesar's confidence. Thinking back to that day, though Helena was tiny, she defeated all the bad guys. Caesar held Helena's hand and said, Helena, your hand is so warm. Night fell. The two little ones fell asleep holding hands. Unfortunately, Caesar's back still bore a scar. Soon came the day for Caesar to return to the palace. The tutor desperately wanted to take Helena away. But father refused directly. Caesar walked to the side, pretending not to know him. How embarrassing. With departure imminent, Helena and her brother went to bid Caesar farewell, hoping he would achieve what he wanted. Caesar slowly walked forward. Helena, I really envy Renard. If you don't mind, could you be my sword instructor too? These words left everyone stunned. Helena expressed her difficulty. How can I teach you when I'm not in the capital? Caesar smiled faintly. If you agree, I can come practice swordsmanship every summer. Duke, would that be all right? Of course, the Duke's mansion doors are always open to you. How about that, did you hear? You must keep your promise, accompany me to reach the highest position. Helena's lips also curved into a smile. She held Caesar's hand again. I'm a very strict teacher. Naturally, I'm also a studious little disciple. As Caesar left, time flowed swiftly like water. Then one day, a letter arrived from the palace. Upon opening it, it was from Caesar. His words now were quite unlikable. Renard leaned in for a look. His Highness will come next month. But his words were indeed demanding, specifically asking us to prepare clean empty rooms. That's what I mean, he's really annoying. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. The 4th summer with Caesar was approaching. Just now, Helena had gone to a weapon shop. The shopkeeper greeted her warmly. Princess Instructor, the 2 swords you ordered are ready. Because her brother kept winning competitions, as his teacher she naturally gained the title of princess instructor. At 12 she was often mocked for being young and inexperienced. Now those who mocked her couldn't even reach her level. Helena drew one of the newly forged swords. The owner's craftsmanship was undeniably perfect, short and light, very suitable for her. Not only did it look sophisticated when worn, but it could also be used for self-defense when necessary. Helena rarely had things that made her happy. Who knew a sword would bring her such joy? But the moment she left, a figure came running straight at her. Seemingly accidental, yet quickly departing after contact. Helena almost lost her balance. That kid just now seemed like a thief. I think my wallet was stolen. Oh no, what should we do? Let's quickly notify the security team to catch them. Helena shook her head, indicating it didn't matter. Reporting, catching, and interrogating just seems too troublesome. Though she said that, Helena was actually angry inside. Too many sins in the previous life, karma comes around, now it's her turn. Just as her servant praised her magnanimity, Helena removed her hat and cloak. I'll get it back with my own abilities. Miss, don't go, it's dangerous there. Helena felt like laughing strangely. You should worry about the person I'm chasing instead. Seeing their uncomfortable expressions, Helena knew she was still that person who couldn't make jokes. Her previous life's experience made finding a small thief effortless. It didn't take long before she saw a group of people dividing the spoils. They seemed to be arguing. Could it be discord over uneven distribution? The thief who stole Helena's wallet said, "This money is all borrowed by me. I'm from the Burns family, my worth is over 10 million. Facing official duties, yet she claims to have principles. Saying their nobility with too much money for their taste. I have justice, unlike you who can't even afford 3 dishes and soup for life." Her serious nonsense earned her beatings from the thugs. Helena stood silently to the side. This little one was also like her previous life, an abandoned illegitimate child. Was she talking about the wealthy Burns family? But I haven't heard of them having such a young daughter, though her hair color is indeed the same as that Earl's. Never mind, since heaven let me encounter you, I'll be the one to save you. Helena leaped down from the rooftop. She pointed her sword at the thug's leader and grabbed the wallet with one hand. Helena's sudden appearance clearly startled the thugs. Beating a girl, aren't you ashamed? What? You got a problem with that? Still so arrogant when speaking to me? The thugs scattered, crying for help. Helena sighed. Looking back, the girl held a stone, her fearless little gaze catching Helena's attention. Was she planning to fight me? With a shout, the girl charged forward with her stone. Hee, missed. Little one, you should have a conscience. I saved you, yet you want to hit me? But the girl insisted the wallet was hers. Whether stolen or robbed, it belongs to me. Helena was speechless. Saving her was really unnecessary. How about this? If you can land a hit on me, everything in this wallet is yours. The girl obviously didn't believe it. How could there be such a good deal? But if you lose, you have to accept me as your master. The girl thought, whether I win or lose it doesn't seem bad, but I still prefer the money in her bag. Helena just loved that unyielding little gaze. The girl launched a frontal attack. Helena easily dodged. Though you have courage, it's all wasted effort. Helena raised her sword and swung at the girl. The girl cried out in pain and called for a stop. You didn't say you would attack me. Helena replied, this noble lady isn't some pampered flower. At this moment the girl finally understood what treacherous hearts meant. With only 2 stones, the girl was truly helpless. The next second the girl knelt and begged. I apologize, I shouldn't have stolen your things. Helena said, you're a lady of the Burns family, you can't do such shameful things anymore. The girl looked pitiful. I'm just an abandoned illegitimate child. This girl was indeed pitiful. Helena asked her name. The girl said she was called Tara. Before mother died, she told me my father was the Earl I never met. Before the girl could finish, Helena lifted her chin. Tara doesn't sound good, from now on your name is Agat. The girl could hardly believe it, before she could marvel at life's unpredictability. Helena called for her to keep up. The girl was at a loss. Did you take me in because I'm an illegitimate child? Perhaps Helena saw her former self in her, thinking of helping her escape from misery. The girl proved to be very obedient and docile. What? You want to tie your own shoelaces? That won't do. Let me. Miss, there's dust on your shoes, quickly wipe them on my bottom. Here, open your mouth, you don't need to move, I'll feed you. She really was someone who knew how to flatter. Helena felt her limbs would atrophy. Renard watched with concern. Sister, this isn't right. It's fine, she's just being careful. Once she has her own circle, she won't be so focused on me. It seems sister has forgotten about Prince Caesar. I bet he'll be jealous. Hearing this, Helena became a bit unsettled. Surely it won't be like that. Before they knew it, Caesar arrived by carriage. He had grown much taller now. His height surprised both siblings. It seemed the former timid little brother had grown up. At this time, Caesar patted Helena's head. "Oh my teacher, why have you gotten shorter again?" Helena's heart felt like it was being cut by knives. Helena's eyes instantly filled with sorrow. "Damn it, who said you could pat teacher's head?" Caesar, knocked to the ground, wasn't angry. Helena treating him this way was just bonding. Only she dared to do this. Who else in the entire empire would dare treat him like this? But who was that standing beside Helena? She was holding onto Helena and actually glaring at me. After learning what happened, Caesar expressed his incomprehension. Even your closest relatives might stab you in the back, let alone taking in a beggar. Helena explained, "She's just a little lamb, no threat at all." But Caesar stood up excitedly. "I don't care. Her sticking to you bothers me." Helena felt like she was talking to a wall. "Why are you so petty about a girl?" Caesar shouted emotionally, "Can't you understand my feelings?" Almost revealing his thoughts, Caesar became shy. "What are you staring at?" Helena pondered. "Your thighs seem quite sturdy." At these words, Caesar's heart grew even more shy. "You troublesome woman, meeting me and immediately lusting after my body. Come on, tell me, why are your thighs so strong and powerful? What's your muscle-building secret?" Caesar repeatedly covered himself. "I don't know why they're like this." "Then let me quietly study them. My brother needs strength like this too." "What's wrong with you?" Caesar's cheeks grew hot. At this moment, Agathe entered through the door. "Miss must be hungry, come have some afternoon tea." She was like a little pet, speaking while clinging to Helena. Seeing this scene, Caesar felt very complex inside. "Get out, what are you doing? You're not needed here." "Serving miss is my duty." The room suddenly fell silent. The prince and the maid's competition for attention thus began. Helena found it quite boring. "Agathe, let's go." Agathe made faces at the prince. Caesar dared to be angry but not speak. Just as Helena was about to leave, Caesar patted his thigh. "My legs are here for your observation." Helena showed an excited expression. Caesar smugly smiled at Agathe. Agathe was so angry she bit her teeth, while Helena was busy stroking the thighs. So tight and firm, giving a strong sense of security. What exactly did Caesar experience this year? A body full of muscles was truly pleasing to the eye. Even in my previous life I didn't have such solid muscles. He's really amazing. The timid, cowardly little boy had truly grown up. "Caesar, what method did you use?" Their eyes met and Caesar blushed. He asked what's wrong, while Helena felt a bit dizzy. The weather is so hot, I'm going to take a shower." As soon as she finished speaking, Helena activated sprint mode. Only Caesar and Agathe were left in a fog of confusion. Was she being shy? Shouldn't I be the shy one? Oh no, could it be I've fallen in love? This is too ridiculous. How am I supposed to face my suddenly grown-up disciple? From that day on, Helena would get nervous whenever she saw Caesar, even turning her back when greeting. This made Caesar very hurt. Even asking questions was tense. Helplessly, Helena could only answer with the back of her head. Her shyness had become terminal. Her abnormal behavior left Caesar puzzled. After much thought, he still came to ask Helena directly. But no matter how Caesar greeted her, Helena always stammered. She was also troubled by why she was like this. Seeing him was like encountering a big tiger. Caesar stood in place, his heart as scattered as a caught mouse. Could Helena be suffering from something? Soon night fell. The young girl still sat restlessly. How could I, who was an empress in my previous life, be shy because of a little boy? This feeling was really unusual. Suddenly there was a knocking sound at the window. Opening it, it turned out to be Caesar. Helena was somewhat flustered. It was already annoying to disturb someone's thoughts during the day, now he comes at night. But Caesar just wanted to talk with Helena about something. Looking at Caesar's serious eyes, Helena felt somewhat enchanted. This kid putting on an adult expression again was really hard to take. Caesar directly jumped to the window ledge. "I say, you're a prince yet you don't use the front door, must you jump through windows?" Caesar said he didn't want to either, but your personal maid was guarding your door. "So you sneaked into my boudoir at night to complain?" "Because you keep avoiding me during the day, if I don't launch a surprise attack you'll just keep avoiding me. I really don't know what I did wrong." So his troubles were because of me. Helena scratched her head. I just feel you've changed too much after not seeing you for a year. It feels a bit unfamiliar. Caesar's heart pounded. I just need some time to adjust. You don't need to take it to heart. Hearing this, Caesar clasped his hands in dejection. Helena, I can only stay here for 3 months. The time I spend apart from you all is much more than the time I spend with you. I always feel that one day you'll forget me. Helena suddenly realized that while she knew what Caesar yearned for, she had still treated him this way. This time it was truly my mistake. Caesar, don't be sad. Rest assured, you'll always be in my heart. Can you swear? Helena held Caesar's hand. I swear nothing like that will ever happen, and I won't avoid you anymore. At this moment Helena's mental knot had loosened. I was really too foolish. He's still that same Caesar of similar age to me. Caesar also put his mind at ease. He lay on the bed feeling very comfortable, never having felt so satisfied. Caesar, if you're tired then go back. But Caesar just pulled up the blanket. Today I'll sleep here. His shameless behavior made the girl feel awful. Quickly go back to your own room. But Caesar said when he was young he used to sleep with teacher, so why couldn't they sleep together now? Since reasoning was useless, Helena couldn't be bothered to argue. You sleep here then, I'll sleep on the sofa. Teacher, didn't you swear you wouldn't avoid me anymore? At once, Helena's heart was torn apart by the man's coquettish behavior. This enchanter was only 14, she had thought only his age and height had changed, but didn't expect his ability to act cute had grown too. Caesar patted the bed. I'm so sleepy, aren't you sleepy? Helena was completely defeated by this coquettish man. Could only obediently comply. Without doubt, Caesar got his comfort. Contentedly he said, Thank you, Helena. What are you thanking me for? Nothing. If I had known you didn't like me growing up and getting taller, I wouldn't have grown up or gotten taller. Helena quietly watched the sleeping Caesar. What a big fool. Though his body grew up, his heart is still a child. I wonder how you'd react if you knew I'm 500 years older than you. And so, once again they fell asleep holding hands. The next day, Helena began focusing intently on teaching. Please, brother, Caesar isn't a prince now, but a swordsman, please be serious. To make up for her previous mistakes, Helena carefully guided every movement, not even letting go of extracurricular time. Soon, Helena's plans were disrupted, as Caesar refused to be outdone. His swordsmanship had already reached extraordinary levels, putting this teacher under great pressure. If this continued, all of Helena's previous plans would be useless. It really gave her a headache. I must hold on to train him into a sword saint. Just as she was preparing new plans, the tutor interrupted Helena's thoughts. Princess, you look so busy. I wonder if my arrival has disturbed you. Helena said it was fine. The tutor must have something to say. The princess is indeed clever. I'm very grateful that you let His Highness live here without worries. Helena couldn't help but be curious. Is it rare for Caesar to be carefree? The tutor continued. His Highness has a nickname in the imperial city. Helena was very curious what nickname. His Highness is known as the Wolf's Brutality in the imperial city. He eliminates anyone who offends him. Helena was full of question marks. Is the prince he's talking about the same prince who loves to act cute? Now His Highness no longer trusts anyone. Since he was almost assassinated, his whole person became fierce and profound. It really makes one's heart ache. Hearing about the assassination, Helena felt a chill. She had never heard Caesar mention it. Sorry, princess, for making you worry. His Highness forbade speaking of these things. I just slipped up. Now His Highness has set his mind on becoming emperor. Your advent and your promise are all guiding His Highness on the path to becoming emperor. Helena was shocked. What did I say? Didn't you promise to help His Highness become emperor? At first I was worried you couldn't fulfill the role of His Highness's sword instructor. But I found I was wrong. Your beauty and wisdom coexist. In my eyes, your abilities exceeded expectations, so I entrust His Highness's future to you. When Helena learned all this, she felt somewhat fearful, wondering if the promise she made then was too heavy. She really didn't want to have any entanglements with the royal family because she wanted to live a peaceful life. Now all she could do was help Caesar become emperor. In the evening, Helena held 2 swords. Caesar opened the door and spoke. Class is over now, what are you doing? Helena didn't waste words. Caesar, from this moment on I'll give you extra practice every night. Caesar expressed his lack of understanding. You don't need to understand, you just need to take up your weapon. Before Caesar could react, Helena suddenly rushed forward. Wait a moment, isn't it ungentlemanly to attack without warning? Didn't you hear me talking just now? If you space out again, your back will have a second scar. I only have one sword while you have two. Helena didn't care about any of that. You're giving opinions during combat? There are no such conditions on a real battlefield, please be more committed. Obviously, the current Caesar hadn't yet reacted. Just defending alone was already exhausting. At this moment, Helena's sword tip flicked upward in a change. Not only did this make Caesar's footwork chaotic, his neck was almost cut down between the two swords. If this were a battlefield, you'd already be dead. Now Caesar had to be tenacious to ascend to the throne. If he was afraid, he would definitely die miserably. Buck up, let's go another round. Caesar also began to take it seriously. He couldn't let Helena look down on him, and couldn't let enemies take his life. Indeed, Caesar was a natural at martial arts, although Helena was at a disadvantage in strength. But what Helena taught him wasn't just about strength contests. With a rotation of the sword hilt, Caesar's abdomen took a hit. He fell to his knees with a thud. Helena's sword pointed at him. Unfortunately, you've lost your life again. This is the cruelty of survival, you must become stronger. So that in this world no one should be able to compare to you, you must even defeat me to succeed. Caesar was shocked. Why must defeating you be the end point? Helena's face was serious, because only then can you go further in the imperial city. Caesar, remember, I will unconditionally help you become emperor. I will definitely see this through to the end. Hearing this, Caesar's courage was ignited. He picked up the sword that had been knocked away. Helena, let's go again. Looking at his eyes full of fighting spirit, Helena felt his future was bright. Well then, prepare yourself. And so Helena trained Caesar for an entire summer. At first glance he looked quite handsome, but looking carefully, besides being sweaty, there wasn't much change. Today, although Helena was tired from training, she was satisfied seeing Caesar practicing his swordsmanship diligently. Agathe, however, was full of complaints about making her lady so tired. Caesar refused to back down. Their eyes instantly locked in a glare. Those glares wouldn't stop until one stared the other down. Helena was used to this and simply ignored them both. Agathe followed Helena with small steps, not forgetting to make various dissatisfied faces at Caesar before leaving. But when turning to face Helena, her face was full of fawning attention. My lady, are you tired? Let me help wipe your sweat. You stay away from Helena, or I'll sell you to human traffickers. After returning to the room, Agathe said while pouring water, I really hate him. You mean Caesar? Yes, him. His ambition to monopolize you is obvious to everyone. Helena showed no anger or joy. These words sound familiar, like something Caesar had said before. Helena sighed. Whoever wants to monopolize can do so, it's not like I'll lose anything. Agathe showed her grievance. My lady, do you understand? I get so jealous seeing you two happily having lessons. Helena was speechless. Do our lessons really look that casual? Isn't it just a serious confrontation? Or do you mean you want to learn swordsmanship too? Agathe dared not deceive her lady. Those things were impossible, because I'm just an abandoned child. With me there is only want or don't want. If you truly like it, then I can arrange for you to learn. This made Agathe hardly dare to imagine. Really don't mind that I'm just a servant and an illegitimate daughter? Of course I will find the best school for you. Hearing this, Agathe silently cried out, Actually, I want to ask my lady to teach me swordsmanship. Agathe panicked and fell to her knees. She cried loudly and shouted loudly, my lady, I want you to teach me swordsmanship. Helena felt puzzled. Caesar's training should be coming to an end soon, and brother seems to need someone to practice with him. And practicing with someone at my level is impossible, so perhaps Agathe could be a good choice. Alright, I agree. After Caesar leaves, I'll teach you. But there's one condition: if you can't catch up to Renard within a year, then give up training. Agathe was overjoyed. My lady, I will practice with all my might. Agathe's dancing around made Helena very tired. If this continues, I'll end up opening a swordsmanship school sooner or later. Sure enough, father was right, I might get involved in things I can't handle. After that, Agathe and Caesar still fought daily. One shouting to hurry up and eat, then leave quickly after eating. One shouting, how can I eat and leave when you won't let me eat? Helena sighed. These two together are truly a disaster. But none of that matters. What matters is that Caesar's demon training can finally stop. Now he won't fear assassination wherever he goes. This summer's effort was worth it. Helena, thank you. What are you thanking me for? The power of your kick, even ghosts would be afraid. Another summer ended. Caesar took the carriage back to the palace. Hope he won't suffer when he returns to the imperial city. After all, his strength is quite extraordinary now. After watching him leave from afar, Helena's relaxed life began. Helena was in high spirits. However, 5 months later one night, a woman's appearance brought Helena's relaxed life to an end. "I'm sorry to disturb you, my name is Lavina." "Who sent you? What's your purpose in coming here?" The woman indicated that Prince Caesar had sent her, and handed over 2 letters. Originally the tutor was supposed to come, but he had other work. Now Helena just wanted to run. Her leisurely life hadn't been enjoyed enough, she didn't want to get involved in his troubles. Actually, Helena had received news a few days ago. Renard asked if she wanted to go. Helena kept shaking her head. Brother said Caesar would definitely be hurt seeing you shake your head. Brother, we're still young, isn't it too early to participate in major events? Brother knows you just find it troublesome. Yes, I just don't want to be involved in these troublesome matters. Helena had completely gone crazy. She didn't want to attend Caesar's advancement celebration. But Caesar's full set of schemes turned Helena into a mute. He said it's fine not to attend, but he would tell everyone Helena was obsessed with his thighs. Damn, really want to beat him up. Helena crumpled the invitation into a ball and threw it violently into the fireplace. Renard, not knowing the truth, was confused. Watching the invitation burn to ashes, Helena called out in satisfaction. "Please tell Caesar I cannot attend the party because I have no invitation." Renard hadn't expected his sister to do this, while Lavina appeared very calm. The prince indeed anticipated this, specifically having me prepare a stack of invitations. Damn, Caesar is truly calculating. Helena clenched her little fists. "Since that's the case, brother, this party shouldn't disappoint me, right? Sister, does this mean you agree to attend?" At this moment the girl was burning with anger, she must personally go beat Caesar up. Lavina sighed that her task was complete. "Next, you two need to cooperate with our work because time is very tight. I've pre-selected some formal wear for you to choose from. And there's a little bit of nobility roster materials." "That thick stack of materials, are you sure it's just a little bit?" Helena nearly ground her back teeth to dust. This Caesar is truly my nemesis. Soon the party arrived. Parents instructed the 2 siblings to be careful with their words. The siblings nodded in agreement. "We will remember to observe more and speak less." Although the Duke's family doesn't participate in politics, they are still nobility, it wouldn't be good to be criticized. "Sister, what are you thinking about? Do you think we can see Caesar? After all, he'll be busy interacting with politicians." This made Helena think of her previous life. "When I became emperor back then, it seems not many people came to congratulate me. Was it because I was too fierce and they were afraid? Only my one friend helped me resolve the awkwardness. I was very moved at that time. I must see Caesar. Even if just to thank my friend's descendant." "Are you that eager to see Caesar?" "Of course, I came here just to beat him up. Daring to threaten me with that matter, beating him up once isn't enough to vent my anger." Renard laughed out loud after knowing the cause and effect. "Helena, brother is your favorite person in this world, right?" Helena answered very seriously, "That's for sure. Unlike someone who only looks human, nothing else is up to par." "Sister, he's still a prince after all, say less." "Alright brother, dealing with someone can wait a while. First find a quiet corner to rest, after all I don't want to draw attention." But unexpectedly her first party attendants encountered a bitch. "Sorry, my hand slipped, the wine spilled, is your dress okay?" Helena was completely speechless. Was she a big fool? Finally got rid of a bunch of annoying boys. Now came several bitches chattering away. There really wasn't a moment of peace. "I am Eureka, you'd better understand your own status. Rumors say the prince likes you, don't think that means I dare not touch you." Helena stepped forward. "My relationship with the prince is not for you to dictate here." Helena grabbed her hand. "Oh my, seems my hand slipped too. Don't pretend to be careless here, I won't hold back. I trust everyone here is magnanimous and will surely forgive me, right? You dare provoke me? Do you know how expensive my dress is? Since you didn't mention the tea, I almost forgot. My dress was personally selected by the prince. I hope he won't be angry when he sees this." Hearing this, the girl was shocked. "How is this possible?" Helena called out each noble lady's name one by one. "I will remember how each of you treated me today, and will surely repay each family appropriately in the future." Instantly they were scared pale. Especially Eureka. She finally encountered someone even more shameless than herself. Helena bowed and bid farewell. Although this was an interesting experience, Helena still hoped not to see these bitches again. Eureka wouldn't give up. Would the task assigned by the family fail just like this? Walking to a corner, Helena sighed. Attending a party really has difficulties everywhere. This red mark won't come off no matter how much I wipe. But it's just as well now I have an excuse not to go to the main hall. Come to think of it, what exactly was Lady Eureka planning? Though having close relations with the royal family, why must she come provoke me, a princess who doesn't participate in politics? Could she like Caesar? So deliberately causing trouble out of jealousy? Actually, she's quite cute, just her way of expressing jealousy isn't quite right. At this time, the attendant shouted, Prince Caesar has arrived. Helena wanted to hide, but snow started falling from the sky. Since heaven seems intent on not letting me leave, might as well meet Caesar. Helena gazed at the sky outside, thinking of her previous life. In the last life I only focused on fighting. Didn't even have time to appreciate the snow. This life I must properly appreciate. Enjoy every moment I couldn't get in my previous life. Lost in thought, a pair of large hands surrounded her. Helena, guess who I am? Caesar, shouldn't you be receiving guests? Caesar said, the most honored guest is in my arms. Speaking of which, is there such a smooth-talking prince? Caesar laughed heartily. Only you deserve this from me. After just a few months apart, Caesar already looked exhausted. She wanted to complain about him, but the harsh words couldn't come out when they reached her lips. Really couldn't believe how chaotic the imperial city was. What exactly had he gone through? But Caesar's height made Helena very dissatisfied. It was really annoying. I didn't used to look up at you like this before. You probably feel there's no sense of superiority looking up at your student, right? The next moment, he bent down directly. The sudden closeness made Helena's eyes widen. Get away from me. Then what do you want me to do? I'm the crown prince, should I kneel instead of standing? That's actually a good suggestion. A student kneeling to greet their teacher is appropriate, right? Caesar shouted, are you sure? Seeing Helena not answer, he fell silent. Today I'll let teacher be happy. Then he knelt on one knee. Teacher, are you satisfied now? Helena was content, but people would surely be shocked seeing the crown prince kneel to her. Helena directly covered Caesar's eyes. This way people shouldn't be able to see, right? Actually, Helena was congratulating Caesar. Covering his eyes, she finally spoke what was in her heart. Thank you for being born in this world. Thank you for meeting me. Happy 18th birthday. But Caesar didn't respond for a long while. The unexpectedly arising intimacy made Helena embarrassed. Why are you just standing there stupidly without responding? Do you know how embarrassed I am? After a long silence, Caesar finally smiled. Thank you, Helena. Then he grabbed the girl's hand. I was born in this life just for you. My source of happiness is only you. Helena was even more embarrassed. How much wine did you drink to say such mushy words? At this time, Helena's hands were gripped tighter by Caesar. I'm speaking from my heart. At this moment, Helena remained silent, because Caesar's voice carried a hint of choking up. Has he really turned 18? Even saying a few words can move himself to tears. At this moment, all Helena could do was quietly hug him. I'm also grateful you happened to fall into my heart. After the party, brother asked sister where she planned to play. Helena, however, said she wanted to sleep for 3 days and 8 nights at home. Brother said he wanted to visit the Night Order. After all, coming to the imperial city wasn't easy. Goodness, brother is truly a model student, handsome and ambitious. In that case, only she should be left at home, right? With no one to disturb her sleep, she would surely sleep well. That afternoon, Caesar broke her delusion. Helena was certainly unhappy about this. Would you feel uncomfortable if you didn't come bother me? Teacher, those words can make people sad. I came to find you as soon as I finished my work. Hearing this, Helena shouted. Shut up, if you're tired, hurry back to the palace to sleep. I heard you were alone at home and worried you'd be bored. Don't get moved to tears. I get annoyed just seeing you, please leave. Caesar wailed heartbrokenly. Helena, if you don't give me my birthday gift, I'll be sad. Helena was instantly speechless. Not giving him a gift was indeed inappropriate. All right, tell me what you want, I'll satisfy you. Caesar was extremely pleased. I want you to accompany me out for a walk. Helena, who had been tricked, collapsed. I knew it would be like this. He was no longer that crying child. The next second, Caesar held her hand. Helena was uneasy. Why must you hold hands? Because you often suddenly walk away. Helena was speechless. All right. And so Caesar took Helena through all the streets and alleys. Basically, they just kept shopping. They finally stopped after buying some accessories. Finally, they enjoyed desserts at a dessert shop. Helena came back to her senses. It's not even my birthday. Why buy me so many things? Caesar said. Whose birthday it is doesn't matter, what matters is that you're happy. And I have a professional team. Helena rolled her eyes. Caesar laughed heartily. But there's one thing the professional team can't provide. Helena curiously asked what it was. Caesar answered. Of course it's you, but if you had a price I could buy you. Caesar, do you want to die? Helena sighed in her heart. When did this kid start being so smooth talking? Really annoying. Where did the easily angered little cutie from before go? At this time Caesar spoke up. Helena, did any young men bother you at yesterday's party? Well, there was one. Caesar instantly jumped up. Tell me who and I'll kill him. Helena calmly answered. That young master in front of me said he would kill himself. Caesar sat down satisfied. To praise him, shouldn't you give him a gift? Helena silently took out the gift she had prepared, originally wanting to give it to him later. Seeing him so impatient, she'd give it now. A small token of respect. Please accept it, Prince Caesar. Is this a gift for me? Helena nodded. It was a scarf. Helena, the things you knit really break conventions. Helena was instantly angered. You brat, if you don't like it I'll burn it to ashes. But Caesar still happily wrapped it around his neck. This is the best gift I've received in my life. At this moment Helena suddenly fell silent. But Caesar, do you really think this gift compares to the treasures at the party? Caesar stroked the gift. Those treasures don't belong to me, they belong to the royal family. This scarf from you truly belongs to me. Helena couldn't understand it all. She stood there like a wooden block stupidly. Caesar, didn't expect you liked knitted scarves so much. Hearing this, Caesar smiled. Helena was still Helena. Didn't she know it was because she gave it that he liked it? Never mind, she's just a block of wood. That's right, I like it enough to stake my life on it. What, you'll protect a scarf with your life? Helena, can't you stop making me laugh? This person is so strange, increasingly unable to understand this kid. After a busy day, the two sat in the carriage heading home. Helena felt the imperial city was especially beautiful today. 500 years ago she spent countless nights here. But why wasn't a single day as beautiful as tonight's scenery? Could it be because she had a friend accompanying her? Looking at his expression, he probably felt the same way. Because they were almost home, Helena went forward to wake him. Wake up quickly, we're almost home. Caesar slowly opened his eyes. Suddenly the carriage jolted violently. And the two people inside screamed from the momentum. The next second their mouths knocked together. Why say knocked instead of kissed? Because their front teeth really hurt from the collision. Caesar felt particularly dissatisfied in his heart. This was too random. Why did a romantic kiss turn into teeth knocking? Caesar called out, this wasn't the result I wanted. While Helena didn't understand his meaning, could it be he took advantage and still complained about me? Caesar thought, this isn't what I wanted. Oh heavens, could you let me prepare and do it over? Do over your head. You want to complain about me one more time? Watching Caesar curl up in the carriage corner, Helena angrily opened the door and ran away. Bastard, we already kissed and he's still like this. I'm so angry. Caesar touched the wound at the corner of his mouth. Could it be Helena doesn't like me? Renard saw his sister return home and was worried. Helena, why is your mouth corner swollen? Helena cried out in alarm. Is it really that obvious? I just accidentally bumped into something. Then why is your face so red? Could you have caught a cold? Helena only then realized she was actually blushing. She hurriedly turned around. It's nothing, brother, I'll be fine after some rest, I'm going to sleep first. She couldn't possibly tell brother the truth, right? This kind of thing originally disadvantages the girl. But Caesar was like a wronged little wife. He was actually angrier than me. I want to go home, I want to return to the Duke's mansion. That way I won't have to see that annoying Caesar. But suddenly heavy snow started falling in the capital. Caught unprepared, she could only stay in the imperial city, unable to leave. 2 days later, the tutor came to complain. Princess, give me some advice. The prince skips ritual practice to go practice sword instead. Caesar was disdainful. Is this worth nagging endlessly about? Princess, look at him. I can't control him anymore, you need to help me manage him. In the past, Helena might have managed him, but after what happened, Helena still felt awkward. And today brother who likes to mediate wasn't home. Seeing Helena not speak, the tutor was very anxious. Princess, please help, say something. Helena was speechless, not letting people have peace early in the morning. It seems Caesar is in the wrong. The tutor was instantly moved to tears. Caesar was very frustrated. Keep talking and I'll leave. I'm not holding a knife to your neck, you can leave any time. Tutor, you're working hard taking care of a child who isn't mentally 18 yet. The tutor shed tears like rain. Princess truly understands me. The prince really makes me worry endlessly. Caesar coldly snorted in disdain. If you don't want to worry, you can leave too. Princess, look at him. When he's willful, he often says hurtful things. The other day he even came home with a swollen mouth after being hit. The two were greatly startled. They shouted simultaneously. Shut up. So noisy. We need quiet here. The tutor was dumbfounded. Come to think of it, the princess's mouth was also swollen. Could it be? The two immediately shouted. The tutor looked confused. Did I just say something that angered heaven and earth? Helena absolutely couldn't let this blabbermouth know what happened. Her mind worked frantically. Tutor, I heard there's a classic work from the Baron Monastery here. How about I take you to see it? The tutor was greatly shocked. He was very interested in such things. The two hit it off immediately. Caesar said, I'm scared being home alone. Helena glared at him fiercely. Finally got the tutor to shut up. How could she let Caesar ruin it? The tutor also said, no need for Caesar to go because children don't understand precious books. Caesar felt trampled on. Was he really worth less than a book? Looking at Helena's cold expression, he let out a cold snort. Whatever you want. Looking at Caesar, who turned his head away. Helena walked back and forth hesitantly. He seems to be angry again. The kind of anger that can't be soothed. Just now, Helena brought the tutor to look at books. The tutor's mind was all about reading well, while Helena was lost in thought. Why was he inexplicably angry? Could he not fear that the muddle-headed tutor would figure it out? That day he complained about me, now he's getting angry again. He's really making me dizzy. Helena couldn't figure it out herself, so she could only ask the tutor. Tutor, isn't Caesar supposed to be preparing for his ascension ceremony? Why are you leisurely reading books here? The tutor said the complex situation in the palace was too worrying. Coming out this time was to clear his mind and also hoping you could comfort the prince. Helena sighed. The tutor really had it hard. At this time, Helena suddenly thought. The grand consort would soon be crowned empress. She would definitely promote her own son to be crown prince. Although the current situation seems peaceful, they must be doing many dark deeds in secret. If the prince angrily retaliates, their goals would naturally succeed. No wonder father has been busy socializing. Turns out he's already decided to stand on Caesar's side. She also wanted to help Caesar, but the duke's mansion was too far from the imperial city. After she goes back, she won't be able to know Caesar's news. The tutor said, I can be your informant. Helena smiled. Are you sure you'll be my informant rather than my brother's or father's? The tutor shrugged, indicating he was sure. All right, since you said so, I'll accept then. Actually, Helena wasn't interested in these power struggles. But this was still her student's matter. She could only pay more attention. Unknowingly, Helena came to the hall. That kid Caesar was actually asleep. He must be very tired, otherwise he wouldn't sleep so peacefully in this small villa. Looking at the sleeping young man, guilt welled up. If not for that promise back then, he wouldn't work so hard and be so tired. Since it can't be escaped, then my brother and I will become his support. Helena gazed tenderly. Please don't be sad, you can always come to me to confide. Just then, Caesar slowly opened his eyes. Helena, when did you come? I just came wanting to draw a turtle on your face, but you woke up. Hearing this, Caesar exclaimed, never daring to sleep in front of Helena again. Caesar, you're really simple-minded, I was just joking. Caesar's expression dazed for a moment, then broke into a smile. The two silently gazed at each other. Suddenly the man stretched out his hand. Helena, your wound is so strange, let me check it. But when his fingertips touched the girl's lips, he could no longer maintain his composure. His body leaned forward to kiss the girl. Helena hadn't yet felt the touch of lips when Caesar released her, stubbornly saying, just now there seemed to be a small bug. Helena was dazed. Why did it feel like his love came too late? Helena was so nervous she could hardly breathe. Caesar, as if not enough to taste her, slowly leaned in again. When their lips met, time seemed to stand still. Lost in the moment, they both savored each other's presence. The heavy snow in the capital had finally stopped. Helena and her brother were about to leave the palace. Caesar's two trusted advisors came to bid farewell, but he was nowhere to be seen. Helena gazed out the window, lost in thought. At that moment, Renard asked if she missed her. Miss who? I mean, are you missing Agat? Helena gave a meaningful reply. I miss him terribly, I wonder what he's doing now. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. Renard caught the eye of the knight's commander. After that, Helena could only see her brother once a month. Though Caesar would visit the Duke's mansion every summer, he could no longer stay as long as before. Along with gaining power, he had lost his freedom. Agathe, who had no prior foundation in swordsmanship, had now made great progress. Another year flew by. Caesar arrived as promised, bringing news with him. The royal swordsmanship tournament was about to begin. Helena found it troublesome. This was typically just a ceremonial competition. But Caesar explained this tournament was different from before, even commoners could participate. Helena thought that wasn't bad, it would be good practice for her brother. Just then Agathe arrived with chocolate pie. Caesar asked why it wasn't his favorite egg pie. I know you don't like chocolate pie, so I made it specially. The egg pie won't be ready until after your highness leaves. They still bicker every time they meet, their antagonistic relationship is quite adorable. Agathe, you should prepare too. My lady, what do you mean? I mean you should prepare for the tournament. Caesar came all this way just for you. Caesar protested, don't make things up. Agathe was excited. My lady, can I really participate? Of course, don't waste Caesar's thoughtful consideration. Agathe turned to look at Caesar and said very lamely, Your Highness, thank you so much. In the end, Helena decided to let all 3 of her disciples participate. It would be a good test of their training results. She was really looking forward to seeing who would prove the best. Caesar had to leave that evening. Helena was reluctant to see him go. Isn't it dangerous to leave now? Why not leave tomorrow? Caesar was also reluctant, but he was no longer the youth of his childhood. Helena, I'm sorry. I wish I could spend more time with you, but my duties call. Actually, their relationship had subtly changed since that last time. They tacitly avoided mentioning that incident. But Helena didn't like this ambiguous situation. Caesar held Helena tightly. Helena, my feelings have never changed. My heart remains constant for you. I believe everyone knows this. Today is another troublesome day, because she has to take her disciples to the royal palace. Helena's parents were moved. Our daughter has finally grown up, remember to make more friends. Seeing her parents so happy made her feel distressed. She really had no interest at all. But Agathe was delighted. She stared wide-eyed at the splendor of the royal palace. My lady, look how clean and neat the ground is. My lady, look at how majestic those grand buildings are. And this one, it's so big and imposing. Who could possibly carve something so lifelike? Agathe, just look but don't touch. If you damage anything, I'll have to trade you to someone else. My lady, I'm just too excited. I'll go calm myself down now. Agathe was wagging her tail with joy, knowing her lady was just being playfully serious. The first match was about to begin, but far from being nervous, she was still in a daze. Renard's focus differed from his sister's. Shouldn't we buy some gifts for Agathe? Helena immediately understood, wondering if brother's many gifts would make Agathe too excited to breathe. After all, Agathe always got extremely excited when receiving gifts. This time, Agathe made a heartfelt declaration that she would not disappoint her lady and young master. Helena was pleased, but reminded her that since she's participating, she should give it her all. Hearing this, Agathe was full of confidence, saying she would strive for victory. Helena was proud. That's good, that's exactly the spirit we want. Brother too, I'll be cheering for you. Renard also confidently expressed that he would do his best. Helena herself had no personal ambitions, but it made her happy to see her disciples succeed. Helena looked at the nearby clock. Time was almost up. Brother, have fun, I have something to attend to. Renard was startled. What is it? For safety's sake, let's go together. Don't worry, I'm just meeting with the guidance counselor, it's fine. Renard opened his mouth in surprise. Really? Well, alright then. Helena had arranged to have lunch with the counselor because she had some questions. The counselor was delighted. That's wonderful, have you finally decided to join us? But Helena shook her head, saying she had no interest in power struggles. I'm here today to learn about a potential marriage. Hearing this, the counselor was shocked. Princess, with your beauty and wisdom, are you really worried about marriage prospects? Helena could only smile awkwardly at this. The counselor seemed to realize his impropriety. What would you like to know? Helena said she wanted to know about the Ulrica family. The counselor found this unexpected. What has Ulrica done to pique your interest? Helena was curious. I'm the one asking questions, why are you questioning me now? Counselor, please answer directly, it seems you're not suited to be an intelligence officer. The counselor nodded awkwardly. I spoke out of turn. Let me briefly explain, the current empress wants her son to become crown prince. But as long as Caesar lives, her son can never become crown prince. Moreover, the palace powers have already shifted towards Caesar. In this case, only after Caesar becomes emperor could the empress's son possibly become crown prince. However, if Caesar has an heir, the empress would be powerless. So the empress decided to have someone from her family become crown princess. That person is the Eulica you mentioned. Helena finally understood why she had been targeted for no apparent reason. So does this mean Caesar will marry her soon? The counselor was surprised. Aren't you anxious about this? Helena asked what was there to be anxious about. At this point, the counselor spoke his true thoughts. I think you would be most suitable as crown princess. The counselor was confident, but the response he got was unwillingness. He had forgotten that Helena was like an unawakened wooden block. This whole thing sounds quite troublesome. No matter what the counselor said after that, Helena just kept shaking her head, saying I was once an emperor. Now I just want a peaceful life. Come to think of it, what is that Caesar trying to do? He's already discussing marriage, yet he still comes to flirt with me. I really hate his irresponsible attitude. Back home, Helena felt a little down. She really wanted to disappear from the palace. To be honest, Helena was truly dense. She still hadn't realized that Caesar liked her. And she was equally unaware of her own feelings for Caesar. Was Caesar really going to become someone else's groom? On the day of the swordsmanship tournament, Helena sat in the audience and happened to meet Eulica. Because of the previous wine incident, Eulica was startled to see Helena. She tried to quickly slip away. However, Helena caught her hand. Due to Helena's excessive strength, Eulica stumbled and fell right into the seat beside her. It's fine to sit with me. Eulica was still shaken, feeling extremely nervous. Helena patted her shoulder. Please don't be so tense. Eulica didn't dare respond. Smile a bit, don't make the atmosphere so tense or people might think I'm going to hit you. Helena's lips curved upward. This girl's psychological resilience was really weak. Eulica was sweating profusely, could only manage an awkward smile. Seeing the girl's forced smile, Helena wondered if she was too difficult to get along with. Just then, the emperor announced the official start of the swordsmanship tournament. The audience erupted in cheers. The contestants engaged in constant back-and-forth combat. It must be said this tournament was quite spectacular, especially when Agathe took the stage. Every strike she made was met with a wave of cheers. Who trained this female angel? So young, yet every move was thrilling. She just wanted to learn swordsmanship well enough to protect her master. Today she perfectly proved her dedication. Although she regrettably didn't advance, her performance was excellent. Helena was proud. Agathe, you were amazing. Next, Renard officially entered the arena, his graceful demeanor winning the crowd's admiration. They say he's a genius, having won many championships in other competitions. Renard on stage was like a supreme being. In just a few moves he had his opponent begging for mercy. Though it seemed ridiculous, this was his overwhelming strength. Afterward, Renard extended a friendly hand. Helena watched her charismatic brother and felt uneasy. Heavens, their mailbox would be stuffed full again. Finally, Caesar made his dazzling entrance. He held his sword in one hand. The match was decided in a single move. The crowd below burst into waves of cheers, though some quietly slandered him. This person's personality is so cold and dark, truly worthy of being called the evil wolf of legend. Yes, his killing intent makes one's blood run cold. His swordsmanship is also very crude and barbaric. Helena listened to these slanders and felt sorry for them. Swords are meant for killing enemies on the battlefield. Without killing intent, should they be used for flower arranging? Just as Helena was internally cursing them, the final match was about to begin. The two on stage were none other than Renard and Caesar. Who would prove superior? Helena watched their match with satisfaction. She coldly rebuked those gossipers without showing any emotion. The weak will always be weak, only capable of endless chatter behind others' backs. Helena's rebuke silenced those behind her. But Eulica didn't understand any of this, her mind completely consumed by her infatuation with Prince Caesar. His Highness is so handsome, marrying him would be the greatest honor of my life. Helena really pitied her. Could such a fangirl really handle being crown princess? Just then, the host announced that Caesar was the champion. Eulica was excited. Surely this would go down in history. All previous crown princes just went through the motions, only Prince Caesar actually won the championship. Helena admired this too. Her disciple had won first place through his own abilities, not relying on royal privilege. The crowd erupted in thunderous cheers. Caesar walked off stage with grace and elegance. Helena felt uneasy. This fool isn't coming to find me, is he? Everyone knows the champion's wreath is given to their beloved. This guy better not try anything. Beside her, Yulika happily exclaimed, "Look, His Highness is walking towards me. That wreath is so beautiful." Helena was already feeling awkward, hoping this naive girl's wish would come true. The simple Yulika was completely immersed in happiness, thinking she was ready. Caesar smiled warmly. "I haven't let down your trust." His smooth talk made Helena feel nauseated. Yulika had already closed her eyes, eagerly awaiting the wreath being placed on her head. At the same time, the Empress on stage also showed a smile. The next second, things became complicated. Helena became the center of attention. "Today's glory belongs to my teacher. Without you there would be no me today, thank you." Helena was embarrassed as the crowd buzzed with discussion. The Empress revealed murderous intent. Yulika's heart was wounded. Oh no, Helena was thoroughly exasperated. Her story had spread to every corner of the palace. "Did you hear? His Highness gave the wreath to a princess. They say she's His Highness's swordsmanship teacher." "What? They have a child? What? Their child is already old enough to run errands?" As expected of the crown prince, such a player, his private life is so messy. Poor Yulika had also become others' laughingstock. The crown prince knelt before the princess. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have let teacher become the subject of gossip. To show my remorse, please punish me." Helena stared silently at Caesar. "You know I hate trouble the most." Caesar felt terrible, but what's done was done. Helena was furious. "Right now I really want to split you in half." "Helena, please forgive me, I was simply offering flowers to my teacher, it was respect for you." "I don't care, when you make me feel troubled, I want to make you vanish from this world." Caesar's mouth fell open. "You should know that whichever of us 3 disciples one would have given you the flowers." Helena wouldn't listen. "Let me tell you, they don't matter, but you as crown prince cannot give it to me. I don't want to be involved in any royal struggles. I care even less about your marriage to Yulika. I don't want to be pointed at and gossiped about by the royal family. If you want to counter the Empress, please think of other methods, don't drag me into troublesome matters." "Helena, does this matter make you hate me so much?" "I didn't say I hate you, I was actually happy to receive the flowers. But I wish you had given them to me in private." Hearing this, Caesar choked up. "I thought winning the competition would make you happy. But you just see it as trouble. Since you hate me so much because of the gossip, I can only kill all those who spread rumors." Helena quickly stopped him. "Calm down, I never said I hate you, I was very touched when I received the flowers." "You're lying, you've never praised me." "I have, I've been praising you in my heart." "Then are you really proud of me?" "Of course, I really enjoy the honor you bring me. Please put away your tears, I really can't handle children crying." "So can you, the teacher who is proud of me, give a big bonus?" Helena was stunned. This guy changes face so quickly. "Of course." Hearing this, Caesar returned to his playful smile. "I won the championship just to get teacher's reward." Helena couldn't figure out what act he was trying to put on. The next second, Caesar kissed Helena's hand. "Then I'll obediently wait for teacher's reward." Helena felt a bit dazed. What was that? Did I just get played? While Caesar walked out the door with a smile. As he left, he waved his hand smugly. In that moment, Helena felt so frustrated. This Caesar was really impossible to handle with all his tricks. Damn, she'd been played by a kid again. Caesar had barely left when Helena received an invitation. Opening it, she found it was from the Empress. She said she felt a connection with Helena and invited her for a chat. This caught Helena somewhat off guard. But she feared no danger. "Your Majesty, I'm honored by your invitation. Miss Yulika is here too." "Oh my, we meet again." "Yes, we seem to meet often, thanks to you I've become a laughingstock in the palace." The Empress played deaf. "Oh? Are you too close?" "We're quite familiar. Meeting her always brings me misfortune. Now everyone knows my fiancé likes her instead of me." The Empress smiled. "Well, she's so radiant, naturally the crown prince would like her." Faced with this fake praise, Helena felt bewildered. She said, "That's not true." "How is it not true? Didn't he give you the tournament wreath?" Yulika was very displeased. The Empress's words left her, the fiancé, nowhere to save face. But the Empress just casually remarked, "Miss Yulika, you need to be more gracious." Poor Yulika dared not speak further. Seeing her submissive demeanor, Helena felt sorry for her. Your Majesty, Caesar and I have practiced swordsmanship together for many years. His giving me the wreath was just sharing joy with a companion. Helena didn't want to make another enemy due to the Empress's instigation. But the Empress wouldn't rest until she achieved her goal. It seems Miss Ulrica should practice swordsmanship instead of studying etiquette. Poor Ulrica wilted even more. Her dejected appearance made Helena's heart ache. At this point, the Empress suggested moving to the back garden. Though puzzled by the Empress's suggestion, Helena readily agreed, curious about what trick the Empress was planning. However, the plot development was still so predictably cliché. She had us watch archery in the back garden. Did she think this would frighten me? Miss Ulrica seemed frightened. Her intelligence was really worrying. Miss Helena, how much do you know about archery? Actually, I'm quite good at archery. The last time I used archery was in my previous life as a mercenary. Though not naturally gifted, I could hit a target at 100 paces. Ulrica objected, for a weak woman to not only practice but also shoot arrows is truly barbaric. A refined lady should study dance and poetry. Faced with such trivial provocation, Helena responded calmly, everything you say is correct. Helena's magnanimity left Ulrica at a loss. Why did her concession make Ulrica feel like she was the one in the wrong? Raised from childhood to be the crown prince's wife, Ulrica really envied Helena's unconstrained upbringing. Although in this life Helena didn't want a brilliant career. If someone provoked her, she would let them know what true ability meant. Your Majesty, royal affairs are too noble, I don't wish to be involved. Helena clearly understood the Empress's schemes and intrigues. Having people create frightening arrow sounds to scare me. It was clearly an unspoken threat. The Empress was truly insidious. Then, do you dare swear you won't covet the position of royal mistress? Just as the Empress finished speaking, a piercing arrow whistle cut through the air. But Helena said, Your Majesty, would you allow me to shoot an arrow before answering your question? Of course. She thought, what could this little princess possibly do? Helena gently picked up an arrow. Compared to her previous life, this bow was lighter. To her, this was like child's play. She slowly raised the bow. Eyes open, focusing intently on the distance. The moment she released, the arrow streaked through the air like a meteor. With a snap, the arrow hit its mark. This was Helena's silent warning. Hoping the Empress would understand she wasn't to be trifled with, or she would surely regret it. Your Majesty, I'm truly sorry. Boring things like oaths don't concern me, I prefer exchanges of mutual benefit. Ulrica denounced Helena for being disrespectful to the Empress. But the Empress sent her away. Go fetch my earrings from my chamber. Not understanding the Empress's intention, Ulrica was confused. But not daring to disobey, she left quietly. After Ulrica left, the Empress still wouldn't give up. She said she admired Helena and wanted to become friends. Your Majesty, I apologize, but I am the Crown Prince's friend. The Empress expressed hope for good relations in the future, and promised to give Helena benefits. The Empress's persistence seriously affected Helena's mood. She just wanted to live a relaxed life, and just as she was about to lose her temper, a large hand embraced her. Helena, so this is where you were. Your Majesty, if I had known you were hosting a gathering, I should have come earlier. Caesar's arrival surprised Helena. The Empress suggested they all have tea together. I'm sorry, but my friend doesn't like such gatherings, please don't disturb her in the future. How is this harassment? I merely wanted to make friends with her. Caesar said coolly, let's put aside the matter of friendship, I need to escort the princess home. The Empress knew better than to argue farewell. She didn't want to provoke this crown prince, after all, he could be terrifying when angry. The Empress's smile concealed daggers, seeming kind but actually poisonous. It must be hard for Caesar to constantly fight against such people. Helena felt somewhat sorry for Caesar. If you're willing, I can stay here to help you. Caesar was stunned. Then shook his head vigorously. He didn't want the free-spirited Helena to become entangled in these struggles. Helena, I know your good intentions, but I still hope you can continue living carefree. In short, things here are too complex and dangerous, I can't bear to see you hurt. Helena understood the palace was a battlefield of schemes, indeed quite boring and troublesome. But Caesar, I want to help you solve these difficulties. From today on, no matter what troubles or dangers arise, I'll face them together with you. Hearing this, Caesar's pretense of strength crumbled. These words moved him deeply. Seeing him cover his face, Helena knew he must be touched. After saying goodbye to Caesar, Helena secretly went to meet the counselor. She got straight to the point. Does your offer from last time still stand? The counselor hadn't expected this. Princess, didn't you say it was troublesome? Why bring this up today? Is it still valid, truly valid? But if you're trying to balance the relationship between His Highness and the Empress, I cannot fulfill that mission. It seems the counselor thinks I've been bought by the Empress. Let me tell you, no one can buy me to work against His Highness. The counselor was embarrassed. I was just testing you. After all, protecting His Highness is my primary duty. Helena understood. When Caesar visited the Duke's mansion as a child, the counselor had always been by his side, so he was the most trustworthy person. Next, Helena took out all the documents in her hand. This is the list of nobles who sent me invitations after the swordsmanship tournament. I'd like you to categorize them, separating the enemies from those who truly wish to support Caesar. What Caesar lacks now is people supporting him from behind, but I find most nobles untrustworthy. The counselor expressed surprise. Princess, are you serious? You're going to participate in social gatherings? Counselor, no need to be surprised, I am serious. Well, most of those people are fence-sitters who will run at the first sign of trouble. So Princess, you're really serious? Having made up her mind, Helena no longer hesitated. Is this matter worth being surprised about twice? Isn't this worth being surprised about? True, this doesn't quite match my previous style. Helena's decision made the counselor very gratified. There might be a chance for her to become crown princess. The two then had a pleasant conversation, talking about everything from heaven to earth, from past to present. They even discussed Helena's previous life. Listening to the counselor talk about her previous life's achievements, Helena found it quite amusing. Though he was talking about her, it felt like hearing someone else's story. Perhaps the current me is no longer Emperor Dante. I've started to like being Helena. Just then, the man who had called Helena king appeared. He seemed to have noticed Helena's change. They would meet again soon. For Caesar's sake, Helena became busy to build up some connections. She personally visited various nobles every day. Soon another summer arrived. Helena received an invitation to Ulrica's birthday party. To win over more nobles, Helena decided to attend. But regrettably, her brother couldn't accompany her. Looking at the counselor in the carriage, Helena sighed. The counselor felt rejected. Was he not good enough? Though saying that, the counselor was actually quite suitable. After all, he was a viscount. More importantly, he was Caesar's representative. His presence at my side also indirectly proved my relationship with Caesar. Upon entering the hall, everything before her eyes shocked Helena. The luxurious scene was almost too much to take in. This was even more extravagant than the crown prince's accession ceremony. Weren't they afraid of provoking the emperor's displeasure? Also, I finally understand why Ulrica looked down on my old-fashioned dress. Every lady present was dressed in luxury. Just then, the counselor reminded her to keep up. We should politely greet Miss Ulrica. Helena only then realized she had been lost in thought. After exchanging polite greetings, Ulrica began her verbal sparring. Princess must be tired coming from the countryside? This was clearly mocking Helena as a country bumpkin. Not really. Compared to the desolate borderlands where even birds won't defecate, the countryside scenery is quite nice. Also, I didn't come empty-handed. I brought a small token of appreciation. Ulrica remarked. Princess is too kind. You didn't bring freshly harvested pumpkins, did you? The noble ladies nearby joined in. Miss Ulrica is so witty. Helena couldn't help but laugh and cry, looking at these noble ladies with pity. Don't you know pumpkins ripen in autumn? Instantly they all froze. Realizing her mistake, Ulrica quickly counterattacked. I guess only country folk would know such things. Helena was unfazed. My goodness, Miss Ulrica, you really don't know such common knowledge? Ulrica was stunned. No, well damn. The counselor quickly mediated. Princess, Miss Ulrica is the star today after all. Is it appropriate to expose others' ignorance? Fine, Miss Ulrica, I shouldn't have exposed your ignorance. You all chat. I think I'd better take my leave. Wait, come back, let me explain. It must be said, Ulrica's flustered appearance was quite amusing, and the counselor just now was quite handsome. Haha, Princess flatters me. You really know how to strike people. Not at all, I'm actually very gentle. Indeed, no wonder Caesar likes you. You're both alike in never letting yourselves be taken advantage of. Are you sure you're not insulting me? Helena just wanted to stay quietly in the corner, carefully observing the nobles at the party. However, Ulrica's father seemed to be absent. Could you get someone to take me to the bathroom, please? On the way, Helena pretended to be curious. Isn't the count supposed to be greeting guests in the hall today? The maid was used to such questions, replying that the master was probably in the smoking room. Hearing this, Helena disapproved. How could a host spend the whole time in the smoking room? Suddenly, a room caught Helena's attention. Why is the door to this room open? And these books, they're arranged in an interesting way. Helena could tell the owner of this study must really cherish this place. Just then, an annoying voice came from behind. Looking back, it was Yulika. What are you doing here? It's so rude for a country bumpkin to peek into other people's studies. Helena explained that she was just passing by on her way to the restroom. But Yulika wouldn't listen. Helena sighed, saying she just admired how well the study was arranged. Hearing this, Yulika felt warmth in her heart. Was she just trying to flatter her? Well, this study is mine. Yulika, could you speak up a bit? Yulika shyly said, This is my study. Helena couldn't understand why Yulika was being so shy, but still praised her for keeping such a beautiful study. Yulika remained shy. I like magic theory, though you probably wouldn't understand. It's much more interesting than that stupid pumpkin harvest timing. Speaking of magic theory, Yulika's face lit up with pride. Helena gave her a few forced claps. The prideful Yulika had her good points too, at least when it came to magic she deserved praise. How about that? Aren't I amazing? Would you like to learn? I can teach you. Seeing her eyes sparkle, Helena didn't want to discourage her. But as long as Lady Yulika was happy, that was enough. Helena sincerely praised her, saying what she'd done was truly remarkable. Yulika was moved by Helena's words. But she hesitated and after long contemplation said, You should go now, although I'm happy you praised me. But your behavior today wasn't befitting of a noble lady. Helena couldn't understand what the girl was thinking. She could only apologize. Helena found it all quite awkward. Yulika was the queen's person, Caesar's enemy, which made her Helena's enemy too. But despite her apparent arrogance, she seemed quite pure-hearted. What did she truly want to do? Well, nature calls, if I don't go soon I'll burst. It's not about the bread but about pride. We must shine at the 18th birthday party. Competition must be colorful. We must work hard and absolutely cannot let the Yulika family look down on us. Miss, you just enjoy yourself however you like, leave the rest of the work to us, we'll definitely make it spectacular. Did something happen when you went to the Yulika house? Yes, their servants were so arrogant and annoying. They said Miss wasn't worthy of competing with Yulika for his highness, they looked down on you. Seeing their angry little faces, Helena smiled happily. Yulika and I aren't love rivals, you don't need to be like this. Caesar didn't attend Yulika's birthday party, and Agat was curious if he would attend Mrs. birthday party. Helena stated that he wouldn't come, because she hadn't given him an invitation. Agat was angry that he wouldn't come to Mrs. birthday party. But Helena told her, Caesar's power isn't yet secure, we must act cautiously. If we invite him to my birthday party, wouldn't the queen be displeased? Caesar probably understands this too, so it can't be helped. Miss, I understand, but I feel like he'll come on his own anyway. Who's thinking about me now? 7 days before the birthday party, Renard returned early from school. Helena happily hugged her brother. Indeed, brother was the best person in the world. However, Renard's height made Helena want to get angry. Why was her brother still growing taller at 20, while she remained short? Brother assured her that he would shoulder any burden, so it didn't matter if she didn't grow taller. But Agat is even taller than me now, I feel my pride has been wounded. One day before the birthday party, Agat was practicing swordplay with extra dedication. And she was in an especially good mood. After finishing practice, Agat wanted to occupy 1 hour of Helena's time. You mean right now? Agat nodded yes. This seemed rather sudden, and there were still many preparations needed for tomorrow's birthday banquet. But this was Agat's first time making such a request. Alright, what do you want to do? Getting the answer she wanted, Agat was overjoyed. That's wonderful, miss, please come with me now. Alright, no problem, let me change clothes first. Alright, miss, then I'll go prepare as well. Helena felt something was odd today, and the maids around her were unusually enthusiastic. After getting dressed up, Helena looked splendid and radiant. But since they weren't going to a banquet, was it necessary to dress so formally and elaborately? Miss, this dress looks absolutely beautiful on you. Suddenly the maid burst into tears. How did you grow up so quickly? It seems like just yesterday when you were acting like a little adult saying life was boring. Why was she crying? Don't cry, I still find life boring even now. But thinking this would be her last time taking care of Helena, she couldn't help but feel sad. Helena was helpless, saying, Even after I grow up, can't you still take care of me? The maid wiped her nose, saying yes, after all, clever people tend to be less capable of taking care of themselves. Those words were quite merciless. Helena had always been good to the household servants. So in return they put their hearts into caring for her. Miss, happy birthday in advance. In that moment Helena stood still, lost in countless thoughts. Their actions made her feel a lump in her throat. Look everyone, Mrs. Stunned, was she scared silly? Agat's clever little idea was really wonderful. Though still dazed, Helena felt sweet in her heart, asking why they were suddenly doing this today. The butler quickly explained, apologizing for their childishness. Having heard that you'll soon leave the Duke's mansion for the royal city, everyone feels reluctant to part. This is a little surprise we prepared for you, and this gift represents our small token of appreciation. Please accept it. Helena was truly happy. This was the first time she'd received such a special and surprising gift. Can I open it now? Everyone nodded. Wow, this gift looks extraordinary. Thank you for your thoughtfulness, I really like it. Helena didn't know how to describe her current feelings. 500 years ago, the sword was what I loved most. Perhaps my past self was too lonely, always alone wherever I went. So in this life, I finally experienced the love of family. And they weren't just servants. They were family who understood me best and grew up with me. I'm truly grateful to them. On the way back to her bedroom, Agathe felt very guilty about taking up so much of Mrs. time. But Helena thought nothing of it, saying today was really fun and she was truly happy. Back in her bedroom, Helena couldn't let go of the gift. Just as she showed a satisfied smile, a voice came. You're finally back. Caesar, is it polite to enter a girl's room so casually? I've been waiting here for several hours. Helena felt panicked inside. Coming from the royal city late at night, what did he want? Caesar said he felt pitiful. Everyone else received invitations except him. Don't you understand why I didn't give you one? Aren't you afraid of angering the queen? Helena was right, Caesar was indeed afraid, but he was more afraid of making his only teacher sad. Helena really couldn't do anything with him. If you wanted to see me, tomorrow's party would be fine, why come in the middle of the night? Caesar sat down leisurely, saying seeing you now is most important, don't you know what day it is? What was this boy up to? Isn't it just the day before my birthday? At that moment the midnight bell rang. Caesar took the opportunity to move closer to Helena. Happy birthday, I'm the first person to wish you happy birthday. Congratulations on becoming an adult. Helena felt strange. Last night and this morning were no different. But why did his hand holding hers feel like crossing several centuries? Helena lowered her head shyly and smiled. Today is Helena's 18th birthday. But she just wanted to find a quiet place. The noble's flattery felt meaningless to her, she could only endure it. 2 hours passed in an instant. The greetings and pleasantries finally ended, and as the protagonist she couldn't leave out of politeness, so she could only sit in the corner. Speaking of which, her brother was really something to be proud of. Looking at those young ladies who had clearly given him their hearts, their shy demeanor was quite amusing. At this time her brother's classmate suddenly came before her. Princess, you look beautiful today. The speaker was the eldest son of Count Luke, reportedly her brother's classmate. Helena politely greeted him, hoping she hadn't disturbed his enjoyment today. The princess is too kind, your party preparations are wonderful, we're having a great time. May I have the honor of being your first dance partner? This young man was quite handsome, but Helena only knew basic dancing and worried about stepping on others' feet. The man assured her it would be his honor. Since she couldn't refuse at this point, Helena could only extend her hand in acceptance. Suddenly a large hand grabbed Helena. What bad timing, I've already arranged with her for the first, second, and even third dances. Helena was exasperated, when did we arrange this? Caesar grinned cheekily, all your firsts belong to me. Caesar's intentions were too obvious, seems he wanted to officially declare war on the queen. Since that's the case, what do I have to fear? Caesar, I'm definitely going to crush your feet if we dance, and if you dare make a sound you're dead. Helena's rhythm is perfect, when did you start learning to dance? Caesar's question made Helena drift into memories of her past life. A very long time ago she had a friend who taught her to dance with great patience. He never complained even when she stepped on his feet. He was Caesar's ancestor. Lost in thought, Helena's rhythm was completely thrown off. Oh no, I'm going to fall today, how embarrassing. Just as she was ready to accept her fate, Caesar lifted her high, which was quite enviable to onlookers. Instantly the whole venue erupted in cheers. Helena, are you alright? What could be wrong with me? In my past life I was free, without regrets or attachments, without emotional fluctuations. But in this life I have many people I want to care about. No matter how much I care about what others think of me, it won't change anything. So let them be. I don't want to think about anything anymore. I just want to protect those precious to me. At 19, Helena had to bid farewell to the Duke's mansion where she had lived since childhood. Despite her reluctance, she had no choice but to help Caesar. She firmly set out on the road to the royal city. On the way, Helena felt uneasy inside. She had thought she didn't care about anything, but suddenly leaving home still made her very nostalgic. Miss, you feel this way because this is your first time truly leaving your family. Yes, we must make the best of what comes. In my past life I had no obstacles. But I never experienced the love of family. So Helena in this life is a blessed person. After arriving at the royal city, the servants warmly welcomed the princess. Now she was no longer a guest but the master of this place. Helena was very satisfied with everything here. But there was one thing that slightly displeased her. She heard Caesar would come to visit. And when he comes he only annoys me. But Helena couldn't bring herself to refuse him. Well, if he comes, what of it? He might bring some royal city treasures as gifts. That could make my mansion more splendid. Soon after, the counselor came to visit. Now that the princess has arrived in the capital, why not formally appoint you as His Highness's sword instructor? Hearing this, Helena felt it wasn't appropriate. I need freedom. Why do you want to bind me to him as soon as I arrive? The counselor sighed, saying he had no choice. Helena was already Caesar's sword teacher. She couldn't accept the counselor forcing a position on her. There must be many competitors for that position. Helena didn't want to cause trouble for herself. Standing behind her student to protect him was enough, no need to prove anything to others. Seeing Helena's firm opposition, the counselor offered another suggestion. Recently, monsters have been frequently appearing in the border regions, and to resist these monsters, the border has sent requests. But the royal city doesn't plan to send troops to provide support. On one hand, it's a budget issue. On the other hand, the city's regular army isn't skilled at dealing with monsters. Hearing this news, Helena pondered silently. This was a perfect opportunity. In her past life, she had successfully eliminated monsters. If they went to the border to assist, surely they would be very welcome. This way, the border people might even support Caesar. How about it? Interested in forming a team to support the border? I know your abilities well. This way, she could prove her abilities while gaining border forces support, achieving two goals at once. Yes, all my childhood actions were witnessed by the counselor. He has full confidence in my abilities. Although this matter is troublesome and boring, I'm very satisfied with this proposal. Of course, I have one condition. Whatever conditions you have, please state them. I want to personally select who goes with me. The crown prince was consumed with thoughts of winning Helena's affection. Though wanting to get closer to her, he had made no progress. Caesar was deeply troubled. Last time when he offered his thigh for her to touch, she didn't seem to have any reaction. Thinking about it now, Helena probably didn't see him as a man at all. Heavens, in her eyes I'm actually not a man. Lavina, who had been quietly listening, felt helpless. Your Highness, I can't bear to see you suffering like this. I know someone skilled at winning the hearts of the opposite sex. He seems to have good methods for pursuing girls. If your Highness wishes, I can invite him to meet you. They met shortly after. Your Highness, pursuing beauties isn't difficult. You just need handsome looks like mine to handle it easily. Caesar sighed, saying he and Helena grew up together as friends. In her eyes, he might just be a good brother. This made even the dating expert feel stumped, but he still gave Caesar a suggestion. Have you heard of Cabedon? It's when you assertively and handsomely push someone against a wall. Then gaze at them passionately. If the atmosphere is created just right, you might even naturally go in for a kiss. This method sounds good, let's try it. The next moment, Caesar appeared before Helena, but he didn't know how to take the first step. Caesar, what are you thinking about? Are you listening to me? Is there something bothering you? If you don't mind, you can tell me. Could she have guessed my thoughts? Are women's sixth sense really that strong? Just then, a quiet corridor appeared before them. Wait, isn't this perfect timing and location? Just need to slowly get closer, then launch a surprise attack when she's not expecting it. What are you planning to do? What was the next step again? Should he turn his head to the side? Or use a deep gaze? Helena was utterly confused why he was crowding her in such a wide corridor. Caesar, completely absorbed in his thoughts, didn't notice Helena's displeasure. At this moment he was just wondering how to proceed with the next step. Right, first gently hold her chin, then wait for her to shyly close her eyes. However, this action reminded Helena of being bullied in her past life, when she was also forcibly held by the chin. So Caesar, are you looking to die? Hearing this, Caesar froze in confusion, not understanding what he had done to make Helena so angry. The next second, Helena violently pushed Caesar to the other side of the wall. You little punk were trying to use that Cape Dawn trick, weren't you? Such tactics are child's play to me. Don't try these little moves on me again or I'll break both your legs. Soon the weekend arrived. Renard also came to Helena's mansion, missing the good old days of playing cards together. Caesar commented that card games were for children. Helena tilted her head looking at Caesar, saying you're the childish one. Caesar pulled out a bottle of wine. Helena became very excited seeing it. Great, we can drink until we're drunk. In my past life I could drink endlessly without getting drunk. It's perfect timing to tell everyone about the monster elimination mission while they're tipsy. Drinking the wine in hand, Helena felt very happy. However, despite being able to drink endlessly in her past life, Helena's body still gradually slumped to the ground. This is really annoying. Why didn't my alcohol tolerance come back with my reincarnation? When she opened her eyes again, she seemed to see her friend Duke Erez from her past life. Erez, my head hurts so much, quick, bring me some water. Hearing Helena's voice, Caesar asked curiously who this bastard Erez was. My head hurts, don't talk to me. Caesar gently stroked Helena's forehead, apologizing for not realizing her low alcohol tolerance. Coming to her senses, Helena felt Caesar's cold hand was soothing. It had been so long since she'd tasted alcohol, she had mistaken Caesar for Erez. But she couldn't blame herself, Caesar's handsome face was identical to his ancestors. Helena, what are you thinking about? Nothing, I just like what you look like. What? Say that again? I said I like your looks. Caesar blushed and instinctively kissed Helena. And so the two naturally entered into sweetness. After sobering up, she immediately announced this plan. Caesar was the first to stand up in opposition. He was so agitated he almost smashed the table. Helena felt confused, not understanding why Caesar would reject this perfect opportunity. I don't care, you just can't go, it's extremely dangerous there, you're going to get yourself killed. Shut up, no matter what, we few will go together, you can come if you want, if not then forget it. Hearing these words, Caesar broke into a cold sweat. Helena really couldn't understand this boy, did he think her abilities were inferior to his? Caesar also couldn't understand why Helena would make such a decision. Caesar didn't want Helena to end up in trouble, he just wanted her to stay safely by his side. However, Helena had never forgotten the promise she had made. Caesar, you should know that your teacher is invincible. Caesar had no choice but to compromise, saying if you're determined to go, I can make some concessions. But if you encounter any potential threats, you must retreat immediately. It seems Caesar still doubts my abilities. However, Helena was comforted that her parents gave unconditional support to her decision. Next, Helena only needed to select strong teammates to begin the mission. One day the counselor brought news. The Red Knights commander wanted to meet with Helena. He said the Red Knights trainees were very interested in joining the monster elimination mission. Helena didn't have high expectations about this. But out of courtesy, Helena finally decided to meet with the Red Knights commander. But Caesar, why do you have to come with me? Caesar grinned. Is there something wrong with a student accompanying their teacher to attend theory class? You look beautiful today. That's not important. What I'm worried about now is if they see their leader wearing a dress. Will they question and distrust me because of it? Caesar stroked his chin thoughtfully. Probably not, after all, my teacher has always been very reliable. Caesar, can you stop blindly trusting others? If one day I stab you in the back, would you still say the same thing? Caesar made a cutting motion across his neck, saying then I can die right in front of you. But I believe you wouldn't do that. His unhesitating answer made Helena very angry. What nonsense are you talking? Can't you think carefully before answering questions? Seeing Caesar's smiling face made Helena feel somewhat helpless. This guy seems completely hopeless, being so extreme about everything. Soon, the commander Helena was waiting for arrived striding in. Finally meeting you, Renard's sister. No, should I call you Renard's teacher? Helena got straight to the point. Commander Dalton, hello, are the soldiers ready? Of course, the trainees are already assembled at the training ground. You can select team members using any method. As they talked, Helena's hand was held by someone. Caesar was very unhappy. Caesar, wanna go over together? Wait, Helena, give me your hand, must disinfect it. Helena was puzzled, not knowing why it needed disinfecting. What was Caesar up to now? Before Helena could react, Commander Dalton had already led the way out. Caesar was worried the soldiers outside would give Helena, this sudden noble lady, a hard time. Commander Dalton also warned, Princess should be careful, those boys out there are all very competitive. Competitive? Better not just be all talk. Hello everyone, I am Helena, the captain in charge of this monster elimination mission. I've come here today to find like-minded companions. Before she could finish speaking, soldiers below were already laughing mockingly. Oh my, is our mission just to protect you, this noble lady? Hearing this, Helena casually retorted, I regret that you probably won't have that chance. Because accepting protection from weaklings would be embarrassing for me. With these words, the speaker turned red with anger. What do you mean by that? Seeing them doubt her abilities, Helena slowly walked down from the platform. Today, if anyone can defeat me, I will give up the captain position without hesitation. Helena's arrogant demeanor made everyone present furious, wanting to cut her in half with one sword. I'll go first. If I accidentally hurt you, don't go crying home to mommy. Come at me with everything you've got. To this day, no one who could hurt me has been born yet. Watch my sword. He raised his sword high and launched his attack. Helena remained elegant. Finding the right moment, she struck. With just one move, Helena won, her sword resting on that soldier's shoulder. Is that all? Heavy footwork aside, just that amateur sword grip looks like a performance. Who else? Please come up and fight. 1 game. 2. 3, 4. Surprisingly, still none of them can beat Helena. Come on, is that all? At this moment, Helena was like a war god. The group of young trainees had already been conquered. I now have a clear grasp of your abilities. The number of soldiers qualified to enter my team is 0. Her abilities were truly astounding. 3 days later, Helena's defeated opponents knelt before her in neat rows. They expressed deep apologies and begged for another chance. However, Helena remained cold. She stated there was nothing to apologize for. It's just that you lack the ability to eliminate monsters with me. Hearing this, the trainees begged for another chance to learn. We will definitely work twice as hard. All of this development was within Helena's expectations. The Red Knights were too confident in their abilities. If Helena had used her status to intimidate them, they definitely wouldn't have submitted. So the current result was just right. Helena cleared her throat. You may rise, but let me warn you up front, my training won't be simple. At this moment, the Red Knights were completely obedient to Helena, they were ready. I am not a lenient person, those who disobey my orders and lack ability will be kicked out of the team. The next second, the Red Knights members knelt together. Yes, Commander. In the days that followed, Helena began training these soldiers, making use of every precious minute. Helena, are there any difficulties during training? Dalton, why are you here? I'm here to let you know that the inspection team has returned from Dandalim. Which means you can prepare to set out to eliminate the monsters. Finally, Helena set out with her team to eliminate the magical beasts. Agathe sat to one side. Renard and Caesar were sitting opposite. Helena found it quite interesting. Caesar, have you been to Vandalim before? Caesar mentioned that he had stayed there for a while, and back then the magical beast situation was more manageable. Renard noted that this situation was very strange. In the blink of an eye, besides Vandalim, large amounts of bones had appeared in this border region. The soldiers' situation was extremely difficult, as magical beasts used to frequently appear at the borders. But in recent years it had become peaceful, and the border nobles had grown complacent. Under the border nobles' negligence, the soldiers' training had become lax. Now that magical beasts had reappeared, these nominal border nobles naturally couldn't handle the incoming beasts. Moreover, there were recent rumors of dragon sightings, making the soldiers even more hesitant. No one knew if the appearance of magical beasts was related to the dragons. Helena was excited to hear news about dragons. 500 years ago. The empress who had hunted dragons back then. It was such a wonderful memory. She wondered if dragons were still as difficult to deal with as before. Caesar thought Helena was afraid and quickly offered words of comfort. Don't worry, I'll kill all the small beasts. Besides, how could dragons just appear randomly? Helena smiled faintly. Appear? More like seeking death. Before they knew it, everyone had arrived at their destination. Captain Dalton found it strange. "Princess, isn't it dangerous to bring such a frail maid for reconnaissance?" "You call a got frail? You'll soon learn just how capable this maid is." How capable could a maid be? Magical beast footprints were discovered ahead. Judging from the tracks, there seemed to be quite a few beasts. This could be dangerous. Yes, these footprints were intact. They must have been left recently. Captain Dalton suggested they return and prepare better. Helena disagreed. "Go back now? We came here to scout. How can we retreat just because we saw some footprints? But our numbers are limited. If we encounter a large group of beasts, it could be bad." Just as he finished speaking, a large, well-fed beast hound appeared. "Captain Dalton, has your mouth been blessed or something?" The beast hound ignored the human's conversation and charged straight at Helena, who appeared to be the weakest. Just as it was about to reach Helena, a sharp sword cut it down. "Helena, are you all right? Brother, you're still as excellent as ever." Captain Dalton was bewildered. Was Renard always this powerful? Helena was very excited. She had thought they wouldn't come out during the day, but apparently that wasn't the case. "Let's head back. I need to call an urgent meeting." A new religion worshipping dragons had been reviving in the border regions. They openly spouted nonsense in front of the border nobles. They performed resurrection rituals in the forest, and after that, magical beasts began to run rampant. This was clearly a trap, yet it's unclear why the border noble only reported it now. The border noble was quite apologetic. "Your Highness, I didn't anticipate this either, as I never found concrete evidence." Helena's head hurt. "No concrete evidence? Were you unaware of the magical beast's appearances?" Well, this matter was indeed strange. Helena smiled. She didn't want to argue with this clueless person anymore. "If there's nothing else, we'll be going." The border noble asked in confusion, "Where are you going? Shouldn't you rest first?" "We need to handle important matters. If we want to learn more about the magical beasts, we naturally need to study them." "Have you all checked your equipment?" "Yes, my lady, everything is ready." "Very good, everyone gather around. I'll arrange what comes next, starting with the beast hound we encountered today. Though they're agile and fierce, dealing with them is still quite easy. To defeat them, attack from the side and avoid head-on confrontations. Also, never turn your back on them and don't face them alone. Does everyone understand?" Agathe was overjoyed. "My lady, how do you know everything?" Caesar was even more adoring of Helena. "That goes without saying. My teacher has always been excellent." Renard, however, remained silent on the side. Helena glanced at him. "Brother, what's wrong?" Renard seemed uncomfortable. "I just remembered something from the past." Helena quickly asked what it was. If the decrease in magical beasts was related to the dragon's extinction, then does the increase in magical beasts mean dragons might truly be reviving? Helena knew well there was no way to bring the dead back to life. But she also felt this was indeed quite strange. "I was reborn with all my memories from my previous life. Could the dragon also be like me? Could there be some connection between these two things?" "Helena, I've said some unnecessary things that worried you. Let's focus on the magical beast situation for now." "All right, brother, eliminating the magical beasts is indeed the top priority right now. Moreover, they might encounter large magical beasts this time. It's called a Luklakta, said to be a beast with a badger's head and a lion's body. Not only is it huge, but it's also incredibly fast, and more importantly, it has strong regenerative abilities. If you only damage its internal organs, you definitely can't kill it. To kill it, you must cut off its head." "Caesar, are you confident? You mean me? Isn't it you? Are you entrusting such an important task to me? Because with my strength, it would be difficult to cut it down in one strike. Besides, Caesar, your strength is immense. Entrusting this to you, the crown prince, if successful, will make your name remembered by the border citizens." Hearing this, Caesar agreed without hesitation. "Well then, let's go try our luck with the magical beasts now." Not long after, Helena and her team arrived at the deepest part of the forest. They had to suppress overwhelming anger, plus the destroyed traps. Helena immediately sensed that the Luklakta was nearby. "Looks like we've become their prey." "Caesar, are you nervous?" "Who said I'm nervous? I just can't see very well." "Don't be afraid, beast hounds are nocturnal creatures. Their eyes might not work well during the day." "Helena, now is not the time for jokes. I can sense those creatures have a clear purpose. Their target might be you. Please be extremely careful." Just then, the beast hounds appeared howling. The team members trembled in fear. Helena turned around. Then shouted, "Everyone get into battle formation, be careful. Maintain your formation, don't panic. Let's work together." Renard was very serious, not daring to be careless. Helena couldn't afford to be careless either. But something felt wrong to her. These damn creatures were all targeting her. "I'm not someone to be trifled with. Let me show you what being unstoppable means. Everyone retreat to the sides. Leave them to me. How dare you underestimate me? Watch me turn you skinny creatures into a pile of corpses. Agat, watch from the side and strike at the right moment." "No problem, my lady." Agat countered very nimbly. Caesar also refused to fall behind. "Looks like I need to step up my game too." Suddenly, a drop of saliva fell on a team member's head. The Laklakta had appeared. He was terrified. With one roar, this team member died. This is simply outrageous. Helena saw this creature must weigh about 500 pounds. Looking at those murderous eyes, whoever dares to step forward might become a corpse. Helena shouted, "Everyone maintain formation, don't be afraid." But now the team members were already terrified by the beast's presence. In this situation, Helena could only trust Caesar. Caesar raised his sword. "Leave it to me, I'll take it down in one go." "All right then, show me what you've got." Renard also refused to be outdone. He leaped into the air. With just a simple strike, the beast howled in pain. Agat assisted with attacks from the side. With a swoosh, the beast was completely unharmed. These minor injuries had no effect on it. Its target was singular Helena. Just as Helena was feeling smug, the beast suddenly teleported and opened its huge mouth to bite at Helena's neck. Helena was bewildered. The beast was clearly in front of her just now. How did it suddenly get behind her? Seeing its relentless attack, Helena couldn't help but wonder if she had some previous grudge with it. At that moment, Caesar arrived. With a flash of sword light, the Laklakta fell. "My lady, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Helena remained in a dazed state. Caesar had said earlier that their target might be me. I indeed became the target of those creatures. Why is that? While in others' eyes, Helena had deliberately used herself as bait. The princess is incredibly reliable. Helena felt somewhat embarrassed. "I really didn't do anything. Agat, they seem very busy. Go help them." After Agat left, Helena silently pondered. She truly didn't understand why the magical beasts would target her. What was their purpose? Helena carefully examined the beast's corpse. She discovered a mysterious mark. Helena reached out to touch it. "What is this?" This mark resembled a dragon, lifelike, seeming to emit a mysterious power. Just as she was about to investigate further, a sudden inexplicable pain struck her heart. "What's happening? Why does my heart hurt so much?" This pain felt like it penetrated to her very bones, unbearable. Caesar also sensed Helena's pain. He turned his head. What met his eyes was a massive dragon, holding Helena in its mouth. Just as Caesar was about to rush to save Helena, Renard acted in time, crying out anxiously, "Sister, I'm coming to save you." Renard struck directly, his blade falling. The dragon howled in pain. Helena fell from the dragon's mouth. Caesar, who caught Helena, felt immense pain in his heart. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." "No way." Caesar looked at Helena, saying painfully, "Can you stop joking around?" She pushed Caesar away, realizing she must immediately engage in combat with the beast. But Caesar couldn't accept this, worried about whether Helena could still fight. Helena indeed felt some pain. Even now her eyes couldn't see clearly. It seemed this beast's saliva was toxic. Once touched, vision becomes blurred and reactions become sluggish. But I can't give up easily just because I'm not in good condition, because retreating would only disrupt morale. Now we must kill the beast in one strike. Caesar, tell me where the beast is. What? Everyone couldn't believe it. Wasn't the beast right in front of them? What had happened to Helena? Don't worry about what's wrong with me, just tell me where the beast is. Caesar watched with heartache, tightly holding Helena's hand. Helena, based on your running steps, the beast is 12 steps ahead of us. As expected of my good student, knowing me so well, even knowing my stride length. He truly is a reliable support. After I attack, I might fall from the air, you must catch me. Caesar hadn't expected Helena to trust him so much. How could he disappoint her? Don't worry, I'll catch you. All right, step back a little. I'll lead the way, you follow closely to support. She knew the students behind her would support her unconditionally. And she must slay this beast. Helena gathered all her strength. using her maximum power, thrust her sword at the dragon. Only hearing the dragon scream, spitting blood, Helena seemed to have exhausted all her strength, falling from the air. Looks like I've really gotten weaker, just this one strike has drained all my strength. But at least I've eliminated this beast. Caesar, my body is completely powerless now, you must catch me. Caesar jumped directly, catching Helena. Helena, I've caught you. Everything's fine now. Yes, you caught me. Caesar, thank you so much. Slowly, Helena lost consciousness, falling into a dream. In her dream, she returned to her previous life, reuniting with Duke Grez. Her only old friend, Caesar, really looked so much like him. What kind of dream was this? Why was her mind full of Caesar? Moreover, she felt sore all over, her eyes still blurry. Just then, Caesar, who was watching by her side, spoke, "It would be strange if you weren't sore all over." "Who's there?" "Who do you think?" "Certainly not a ghost." From the voice, it must be His Highness. However, Caesar told her there was no need to call him His Highness, as it was just the two of them present. He suggested Helena rest well and not worry about things outside. Helena quickly replied, "All right, but shouldn't you be busy with other things?" Caesar seemed somewhat angry. "You've broken 2 ribs, have multiple fractures elsewhere, and more importantly, you still can't see anything." So Caesar understood my condition so clearly, his keen observation skills were truly surprising. "All right, then where did my brother go?" Caesar explained that Renard saw she was awake, so he had to return to school. Hearing this news, Helena felt relieved. "That's good, I was really worried he'd stay by my side every day to take care of me after learning I was blind." Caesar smiled gently, comforting her. "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." Helena couldn't help but giggle. If others knew the crown prince was taking care of the princess, they'd surely laugh. Caesar suddenly fell silent. Caesar, at least say something." Caesar's heart was filled with guilt. He knew that if he had been the one to fight that deadly battle, Helena wouldn't have been so severely injured. Seeing Caesar's guilty expression, Helena felt nervous. "Actually, I didn't want to shoulder everything either, but only I knew where that beast's weakness was. Besides, I couldn't let our dear crown prince take such a risk." Hearing this, Caesar felt even more remorseful. "I wish so much that I was the one who got hurt instead of you. Helena, I'm willing to give everything for you, so please don't bear the pain alone. Because I'm willing to bear it for you, you're always important to me. So I don't want you to bleed for me." Helena trembled slightly, frozen in shock, unable to speak. Why was Caesar acting like this? What was he trying to do? Caesar silently took Helena's hand. "Because I like you, I've always liked you. Like you enough to give my life for you. Because I love you no matter what, I sincerely like and love you." After Caesar left, Helena fell into confusion. She had never experienced being confessed to before. This made her feel very troubled. It seemed it was time to seek advice from someone. Helena decided to ask the counselor for help. "Hey counselor, are you busy right now?" "Not really. Just don't know how to write a letter to your father. Also not sure whether to tell him about the appearance of the large beast." Seeing counselor in tears, Helena suggested writing something simple, just saying Helena was injured and temporarily unable to return. Counselor cried out, "Perhaps before your father arrives, I should write a will first." Helena was speechless, he was being too extreme. Helena said somewhat embarrassedly, "I'm not here about that. Actually, I've run into some problems with feelings. I didn't expect the princess had reached the age to discuss marriage. Shouldn't I? Oh my, your previous behavior made it hard to believe you'd ever be troubled by love." Helena was strangely hit by this. What's so surprising about this, after all, she's also a girl. The next day, the long-awaited reunion finally came. Caesar hurriedly came with a chocolate pie, asking expectantly, "Do you like this?" Helena paused slightly. "Well, I should like it." Hearing this, Caesar felt a surge of joy in his heart. "Open your mouth. I don't think my fingers are broken." Before Helena could react, Caesar directly fed her. "Your hands aren't broken, but your arms can't move." Helena felt helpless, not knowing what was wrong with this boy. Yesterday he was shy about confessing, today he could casually feed her food. Had he forgotten about the confession? Seeing Helena eating happily, Caesar couldn't resist wanting to taste too. He reached out, gently wiped away the crumbs from Helena's mouth corner. The next second, Caesar put the crumbs in his mouth. Helena was shocked. What was Caesar doing? Haha, it's really sweet. How could he do this? Not only had he forgotten about the confession, now he was eating food from the corner of my mouth. What was he doing? If this continues, I'll really lose my mind completely. Counselor, that's how things are. My, seems like many interesting things have happened. Is His Highness Caesar expecting a response to his confession? Helena answered no. Has he suddenly changed his attitude or avoided you? Helena answered not at all. Oh my, then just treat him like you used to. I'm asking for advice precisely because I can't treat him like before. Counselor said calmly, then just freely take advantage of His Highness's love. Helena joked, is it really okay for you to say such things? You're His Highness's counselor after all. If you spend 10 years with His Highness, you'll understand this is our only option. Indeed, it's been 7 years since I met Caesar. All those moments with him seem just like yesterday. Especially that moment when he was kidnapped, he was really pitiful. Is it really okay for me to fall for such a little brat? Teacher and student, student and teacher. I've always maintained this attitude, never considering anything about love. Counselor advised from the side, after all, this is your first time encountering such a situation. It's normal to feel uncomfortable and nervous, but you must stay true to your heart. Suddenly, Helena seemed to understand. My heart, my feelings for that guy. It must be love, right? 500 years ago, the continent's strongest empress. In her dreams, she was full of memories. Your Highness, are you all right? I am Dante. Eliminating them requires no effort at all. These people are really presumptuous. I'll immediately have someone capture the stragglers. By the way, have the servants bring me some water. All right, I'll arrange it personally. Oh my, I've really troubled you. It's nothing, with our relationship, I'll do my utmost for you. What kind of relationship do we have? Dante was really curious. Because her so-called family brought her not just power, but also countless grievances. And Duke Grez wasn't her family. What kind of relationship did he want to establish with Dante? Duke Grez pondered for a long time. Your Majesty, what I want to say is, we should be friends. Here it comes again, I dreamed of my previous life again. All because of that Caesar fellow, looking so similar to Duke Grez. I haven't had a good night's sleep these days. Early the next morning, Loina came to visit. Have you started dating His Highness? Helena was startled. I haven't been thinking about him that way. Helena seemed to have quite a presence, but her protests had already exposed her thoughts. Princess, do you have anything else to say? Well, I have been troubled for a while. But it seems we haven't moved forward. Loina sighed. I see, so you haven't started dating yet. I came today mainly because His Majesty wants to hold a party at the palace to celebrate the successful elimination of the magical beasts. Since you're the main character, I wanted to ask your opinion. A party at the palace, Helena found it somewhat boring and didn't want to participate. When Loina asked how to arrange and prepare for the party, Helena immediately answered, Loina, I trust your ability, leave everything to you. Caesar, who had just finished sword practice, was puzzled. He softly called out to Helena, his eyes sparkling. Helena blushed shyly, thinking to herself, when did this guy start standing there? Loina saw through everything but didn't expose them. Although the princess claimed nothing had happened, their shy expressions had revealed their secret. You two lovebirds just enjoy yourselves before the palace party. Helena's face turned red, hoping Loina hadn't seen through everything. In the dead of night, Helena buried her face deep in her pillow, feeling like she was going crazy. She feared she would fall into dreams of her previous life again. Caesar, you immature little brat, why did I fall for you? If Duke Grez were still alive, he'd surely say I have no shame. Oh dear, I'm really causing trouble for his descendants. Duke Grez, please forgive me. Seeing Helena looking lost, Agathe was confused. Why does my lady look so spiritless? Agathe bustled around non-stop. My lady, I'll brew some ginger tea to boost your energy, and the fireplace needs more tea. My lady, just stay in bed, I'll be right back. There's really no need to be so nervous. Soon, the steaming ginger tea was served. The fire in the fireplace grew stronger. And there were many more beautiful clothes. Undeniably, Agathe was really warm-hearted. Isn't this clothing a bit thick? I feel like I can't move my arms. It's fine, better than catching a cold. Come on, this is really the last piece. Do I need to wear more? I shouldn't get too cold if I'm not going out, right? Please, this is truly the last piece. Helena understood Agathe's concern. Since returning from her injury, she had been like this, seemingly blaming herself for not taking better care of me. Finally, Helena agreed with Agathe. Now she could only go along with Agathe's obsession. If Agathe knew that Caesar had confessed to me, with her personality, Caesar would surely lose his life. Yes, I can't tell her about this. My lady is all dressed now, doesn't it feel very warm? Also, I've prepared lots of ginger tea, you must remember to drink it before bed. Alright, I understand, thank you Agat, I need to go to a meeting first. Agat was still worried. My lady, are you sure you'll be fine going to the study by yourself? Of course it's fine, I can see now, don't worry. Go about your business, I'm quite curious about why the border noble called me. Helena, you're here, why did you take so long? When Caesar saw Helena's attire, he closed his mouth. Helena now looked like a snowman. The border noble broke into a cold sweat. Was it really that cold? Sorry, I'm a bit late. It's fine, I heard you'll be returning to the capital in 2 days. Thank you so much for everything during this time. Caesar bowed in return. We've troubled you as well. No trouble at all, you eliminated the magical beasts here. The residents of my domain can finally live in peace. Thank you all. I don't know how to repay your kindness. Don't worry about it, as Crown Prince, how could I remain unmoved seeing my people living in such dire circumstances? The border noble quickly pledged his loyalty. Your Highness, I will serve you with all my might. Caesar nodded slightly, smiling. This was exactly the result he wanted. Although the border noble's strength wasn't great, it was 100 times better than those others. Your Highness, actually I have one more question. Butler, bring that thing here. Helena was confused, not understanding what made the border noble so serious. Soon that thing was carried in. It didn't look very heavy, but why did it need 3 knights to carry it? Helena became even more confused. When she saw clearly what was brought in, her heart started pounding again. What was going on? Helena's previous heart palpitations returned. Helena felt like she was suffocating. Fortunately, Caesar noticed something was wrong and called out to her. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? It's nothing now. Fortunately, the heart palpitations didn't last too long this time. However, what exactly was it? Why would I have such a reaction? Counselor was also very curious about this. Judging from its appearance, it seemed to be a magic array. The border noble explained, this mark was discovered during the last magical beast hunt, and this time you found the same mark. Both types of magical beasts had it. I sent it to the Magic Association for research. But even they couldn't figure out its origin. How is this possible? Even the Magic Association couldn't explain it. The border noble continued, according to my speculation. This should be related to the dragon-worshipping religion. The number of magical beasts only started increasing after their appearance. And such marks only appeared after they showed up. Helena felt this thing had a great connection to herself. Border noble, may I copy this mark? Seeing this, Caesar grew worried. What do you want to copy it for? Have you forgotten how you reacted when you saw it just now? Helena smiled slightly. It's precisely because of that I need to find the truth. Something that can cause me heart palpitations is clearly not simple. Helena thought silently. Perhaps it's related to my past and present lives. 2 days later, Helena and her group returned to the capital. She watched the crowds coming and going on the streets, feeling the vitality and warmth of life. Caesar was puzzled. Had something interesting caught her attention? Helena, did you find something interesting outside the window? Helena turned her head in confusion. Interesting? Caesar, what are you talking about? Caesar felt embarrassed. Sorry for disturbing you. Helena, experiencing love for the first time, was somewhat shy. What? It's boring. While Caesar kept staring at Helena intently. His love was just that simple. Even without getting a response, he wouldn't stop loving Helena. Helena felt very awkward being stared at. Hey Caesar, why do you keep staring at me? Caesar smiled and answered, what's strange about that? I've been watching you the whole journey. Helena's face turned completely red. If Helena paid too much attention to his gaze, he could only pretend to close his eyes to hide it. Facing Caesar's little tricks, Helena felt quite helpless. Fortunately, Agat was already asleep, otherwise Helena would feel more embarrassed. Helena pretended nothing happened and continued to look out the window. At this moment, the scene outside caught her attention. Dragons are our gods as well as our saviors and kings. Was that person talking about dragons being gods or something similar? I seem to have heard about this before. Helena, what did you discover? I need to get off the carriage to take a look. Caesar, Agat, wait here for a moment. My lady, where are you going? Take me with you. Caesar picked up his sword. No need, I'll go with her. All right then, but you must protect the lady well. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Please believe in our great savior, the dragon. I used to suffer from severe illness, But after I started believing in the existence of dragons, all my illness troubles naturally disappeared. What she's saying is complete nonsense. She claims dragons can save humans and bestow blessings. But isn't it only Chinese dragons that do this? Western dragons are notorious for being evil, bringing disaster whenever they appear. They also like to steal all sorts of treasures. Western dragons aren't worthy of human trust at all. Caesar, let's go back. There's no need to continue listening to such nonsense. That figure. I'm certain it's Noel, I can't be wrong. This time I must get a clear answer. Noel, stop right there. Damn, there are too many people. I can't chase after him, I can't just miss this chance. I must rush over now. Suddenly, Helena's hat fell off. In an instant, she became the center of attention. Oh my, isn't this a noble? What are you doing among us? Hasn't your family taught you not to wander alone in places like this? Helena looked around, but couldn't find Noel's figure. Did I see wrong? Noel, where are you? Pampered noble lady, what are you looking for? Why don't you come play with me? At this moment, Caesar kicked out. The man from earlier was stunned. I'm sorry for interrupting your gathering. I accidentally kicked you, that shouldn't be a problem, right? Looking at Caesar's powerful presence, the man was scared witless. No problem. Helena, are you all right? You scared me earlier when you shouted Noel's name. What exactly did you see? I saw someone familiar. But I think I was mistaken. Thinking carefully. It's impossible. After all, that was 10 years ago. How could someone not change at all in 10 years? I must have made a mistake. After returning to the capital, Renard achieved success and fame, not only graduating from the Knight's Order, but also having prospects of becoming the vice commander. Meanwhile, Helena returned to the capital as the Crown Prince's sword instructor. Although she was indeed the Crown Prince's sword instructor, these three people before her were looking at Helena with sparkling eyes. Ah, it's really uncomfortable. When exactly did things develop this way? Finally, Helena became the instructor for the trainees. This is all Counselor's fault, saying something about continuing to strive for Prince Caesar's sake. I can only accept it willingly. Instructor, will you always teach us from now on? Although Helena was forced to accept, she still answered without hesitation. I suppose so. That's great. Will you take us as your students too? What's going on? I was only planning to help them correct their postures. I say, could you all calm down a bit? Just then, Caesar appeared behind them. You guys are really thick-skinned. If you want to be Helena's students, fight me first. If you can survive a duel with me, I'll allow you to become my junior apprentices, though of course you won't survive. The group of trainees was terrified. Oh my goodness, His Highness looks like he's going to eat someone. Helena was bewildered. Hey Caesar. Yes, teacher. It's not right to give others trouble, have you warmed up yet? Caesar begged like a puppy, not yet, I just got here. After careful consideration, your teacher thinks you should lead everyone in running 30 laps around the training ground. What? Everyone instantly turned to stone. Helena couldn't help but laugh. Are 30 laps not enough? After 30 laps of training, Caesar remained graceful as ever. But the trainees were exhausted, their bodies soaked with sweat. Getting tired so quickly won't do, next we'll practice sword swings 10,000 times. What? 10,000 times? Teacher, are you trying to kill us? Oh? Seems like 10,000 isn't enough, then let's make it 20,000. Teacher, please don't do this, 10,000 is enough, we'll go swing our swords right away. Hearing others call Helena teacher, Caesar really couldn't take it. Who called her teacher? Step forward. Helena, why can't you reject them more firmly? Why do you let them call you teacher? Helena awkwardly scratched her head. Is there really a need to be so angry? I can't help it. No, you can only have 3 students. Caesar started whining to Helena. On the surface Helena grumbled, but inside she was moved by Caesar's cuteness. Caesar, am I really that good? Caesar answered without hesitation. Do you even need to ask? I absolutely won't share you with others. If you want to have me all to yourself, then beat me once. How about it? Are you interested, my good student? The match began. Wow, these sword techniques were exquisite. Helena was having a bit of trouble defending. Caesar was especially happy. Teacher, don't you dare go back on your word. Looks like you're very confident. That's right, I love teacher's sword-wielding appearance the most. What nonsense. Stop sweet-talking me. Today I'll show you what real strength is. Helena quickly leaped up. Both launched their attacks. The two swords clashed together, making a striking sound. They engaged in a series of exchanges. Indeed, Caesar's abilities had improved significantly again. Helena smiled slightly, thinking to herself, perhaps he really has the ability to defeat me. Both maintained their offensive, like they were powered by explosives. Suddenly, Caesar raised his arm to block an arrow. Helena's soul was almost scared out of her body. This boy Caesar really needs discipline. Has he forgotten about getting his arm broken when he was young? However, before Helena could respond, Caesar suddenly rushed into Helena's embrace. Then he directly lifted Helena up. The swords in both their hands fell. Helena exclaimed, "What are you doing? Teacher, how could you let your guard down during practice? This isn't like you at all." Helena got angry. "That's not a reason for you to hug me. Put me down quickly." "Wait, stop hitting me, I'll let you go, okay?" Although Caesar had experienced countless life and death battles, he was almost beaten to death by Helena. "You rotten kid, you must not know how to write the word death. You actually dared to touch teacher's bottom." "Helena, calm down first, let me explain." Really annoying, Caesar has really grown up. But his mind doesn't seem to have grown up, actually using his arm to block arrows. In a real battle, his arm would definitely break. Really, why am I worried about him? Why have I been thinking about that guy all day? Could it be that I've really fallen for him? "My lady, His Highness is here to see you. Since I can't avoid it, I might as well not try to." "Let him in." Caesar's lips were tightly closed, looking very unhappy. "What's the situation? You look like a sulking wife. I just can't stand those people calling you teacher. I don't want to share you with others, I'll say it again, you can only have us three as students." Listening to Caesar express his thoughts and feelings, Helena experienced a very pleasant and exciting feeling. Her heart seemed to be beating, making her feel happy, satisfied, and blessed. "Caesar, I think I've really fallen for you." Caesar blushed and froze, leaning forward. "Really?" Helena couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. "I finally said it, and he doesn't believe it. Do you want me to say it again?" Caesar nodded in agreement. Helena chuckled. I like you the most, Caesar. Although I used to find living uninteresting, with you around life doesn't seem so boring anymore." They gazed at each other lovingly. He couldn't help but kiss Helena. This kiss symbolized a new beginning, bringing endless beauty and surprises. Soon after, Helena's father came to the capital. Looking at his daughter, he couldn't help but recall her past. "Helena, I've thought about this over and over, could I confirm something with you?" Helena curiously asked what it was. Her father said solemnly, "If you are willing to become the crown prince's consort, our family will embark on a completely new path." Hearing this, Helena was stunned. She began to doubt whether her choice was correct. Her father had always stayed away from political struggles. If I become the crown prince's consort, it would mean stepping into the core of political struggles. To be honest, I had no interest in this before. Father, it's difficult for me to answer your question now, because an important condition hasn't been met. What is the important condition? Caesar hasn't proposed to me yet. So it's too early to discuss these things. Besides, I have more urgent matters to handle. My lady, why did you suddenly suggest coming to the bookstore? I want to look for a magic book. Agathe showed incomprehension. My lady, you're someone who can't use magic at all. Helena explained, I'm not the only one who can't. Who can really use magic these days? Agathe asked curiously, then why are you looking for a magic book? Because I want to give someone a special gift. But what are all these strange symbols? I need to understand their meaning first before deciding whether to give this gift. Agathe was also confused. My lady, I can't understand these symbols either. What should we do? Should we go back and find someone knowledgeable to help? Who is that person? Let's ask first. Excuse me. I don't know much about magic, could you recommend a magic book to me? I'm familiar with this, what type of magic book are you looking for? Yulika turned around. Helena hadn't expected it would be her. Oh, it's Lady Yulika, I didn't expect to meet you here, how nice. And Yulika was completely stiff. Yes, nice. I want to run away when I see you. What did you just say? I said it's quite a coincidence to meet the princess. That's great. Yulika, are you here to buy books too? Of course, why else would I be at a bookstore to eat? Helena smiled brightly. Could you help me recommend a magic book as a gift? Hearing this, Yulika appeared somewhat arrogant. You should probably ask the bookstore staff for recommendations. You're a great magician, I'd like to hear your opinion. Yulika became shy from the compliment. I'm not really a true magician, I just know some magic-related knowledge. In that case, I'll help you choose one. This magic book is very good, take it. Agat, go pay for this book. Then Helena got straight to the point. Thank you for recommending the book, actually this is a gift I chose for you. What did you say? Yulika's breathing became somewhat rapid. Helena said directly, please go on a date with me, my lady. Helena spoke casually, I'll treat you to food, please believe I won't offend you in any way. Yulika's mind was completely blank. Treat me to food, could it be she wants to reconcile? Yes, we can get to know each other first. Yulika still couldn't understand. We're opponents. Oh my, is it really that bad? What do you think? Lower your voice, there are many people watching behind us. Don't let people see your undignified expression. As it turned out, this move struck right at Yulika's heart. Helena pressed her advantage, Lady Yulika, I really want to become friends with you. If you have something to say it quickly, I don't have time to waste words with you here. Having achieved her goal, Helena went straight to the point. I want you to take a look at this. What is this? I'm not sure either, it looks like a magic circle. So I wanted to ask for your advice. Regarding this, Yulika wasn't very knowledgeable either. She carefully observed what appeared to be both a magic circle and divine symbols. Can you help me understand it? This should be divine symbols. It's a language created by humans to use magic, but no related materials or records have been passed down. So it's hard to decode. Helena was very disappointed. That's really too bad, I thought you might know something. Yulika hadn't given up. She asked Helena for the markings, saying perhaps she could get the desired results after studying them carefully. Helena hadn't expected Yulika to be so dedicated, thinking it would be nice if they could become true friends. Then I'll leave it to you. If you find any clues or traces, please be sure to tell me. Yulika awkwardly agreed. Afterward, they enjoyed cake together. Helena ate happily. Seeing this, Yulika also tried some. Judging by her expression, it must have tasted quite good. My lady, looks like we get along well. Hearing this, Yulika's face fell. Did you invite me out just to humiliate me? Don't get carried away just because the crown prince has taken a liking to you. The position of crown princess ultimately belongs to my family. Strange, she didn't say the position of crown princess was hers. I wonder if Yulika is alright? After all, she's just a pawn of their family. Lady Yulika, don't feel like you should sacrifice your happiness for your family. Just because you're a woman of the family. You should pursue the life you want. Hearing these words, Yulika was like an enraged lion. You seem to be pitying me? In your eyes, am I just a pawn of the family? Once I fail to become the crown princess, I'll lose everything. I must look very pitiful to you, right? Oh my lady, that's not what I meant. I think that's exactly what you meant. Don't think you have the right to casually pity me just because you have everything. It only makes me hate you more. Princess, thank you for your treat today, but don't let there be a next time for such an unpleasant date. I really didn't mean that. Why did you leave without listening to my explanation? It seems I really said the wrong thing. After returning home, Helena still couldn't forget Yulika's words. Yes, I did pity her. Caesar is by my side. Yulika will definitely not be able to gain his love. My shallow and arrogant thoughts will bring harm to others. I turned out to be such a narrow-minded person. Yulika, I will sincerely apologize for my thoughtless words, hoping you can forgive me next time we meet. Princess, are you troubled by something? Helena was startled. How did she know? Ah? No, everything's fine, nothing's wrong. What did you just say? I said, you must be the most beautiful person at this party. After all, this is a party held to commend the extermination of magical beasts. As the hostess of the party, you must shine brighter than Lady Yulika. Is there really a need to be so serious? How could there not be? The Queen's side has made thorough preparations. They have the Empire's best costume designers and dance instructors. Helena shook her head repeatedly. I don't think it's necessary, this is just a party. How can you say such weak words? You are the future crown princess. I say, Rowena, don't get so excited, I'm not going to a battlefield. No, it is a battlefield. Even though all the famous designers have been taken. But you need not worry, I've already found a rising new designer. Look, isn't it beautiful? I believe you will definitely shine at the party. The Rowena family used to be Caesar's mother's confidants. After Caesar's mother passed away, the Rowena family also met with misfortune. Although her family wasn't very influential, They were still eliminated by the queen. Therefore, she begged Helena to win against the queen no matter what. Helena hadn't expected Rowena's background to be so pitiful. I will definitely try my best. Rowena felt somewhat embarrassed. Princess, you don't need to care so much. How could Helena not care about their feelings? She really cared very much. Rowena had always been grateful to Helena. Thanks to her, His Highness could become so cheerful. She not only took in Lady Agathe, but also changed His Highness. When the Rowena family fell from grace, Caesar also took in poor Rowena. Helena is Prince Caesar's most precious person. Naturally, she is also Rowena's most precious person. In Rowena's sincere gaze, Helena saw her loyalty to Caesar. It really makes one sigh. Caesar seems to have made a very wise choice. Rowena was full of confidence, of course. The queen is our common enemy. We absolutely cannot lose to her, so princess, let's get moving right away. Helena appeared in dazzling attire. Agathe's eyes sparkled looking at her beautiful lady. You look so beautiful, like you're not from this world. Helena was somewhat shy. Is it really that exaggerated? How is it exaggerated? I'm telling the truth. Agathe praised sincerely. Yes, my lady, you are truly so beautiful now. Just then, Renard came over. Seeing his sister's appearance, he couldn't help but praise her too. I originally thought you were already very beautiful. I didn't expect you could be even more beautiful. Rowena agreed from the side. That's a must. This is my work that I poured my soul into. Helena was equally satisfied. Their mouths were all as sweet as honey. All right, there's no time left. Princess, from now on, no eating. Don't step on the dress hem. Don't rub your eyes. How can there be so many things I can't do? Rowena suddenly came close. Oh right, there's one thing you can do. That is, you must smear your lipstick. Go for it. Helena nodded in confusion. If I can't eat food, if I want to smear my lipstick, I can only drink beverages freely. The dazed Helena didn't know that kissing was the quickest way to smear lipstick. All right, let's depart now. When the beautiful Helena made her entrance, all the guests fell into a trance. Look, it's her who defeated the magical beasts. Yes, the princess is really strong. Helena looked calm on the outside but was crying inside. Praising me for being strong? Oh? The queen is here too, but there are fewer people around her than I imagined. Although she was trying to maintain a smile, she must be very dissatisfied inside. Because she must have noticed her status has fallen significantly. Yulika isn't by the queen's side either. Could she be trying to avoid this old lady too? The guests nearby were discussing among themselves, why haven't we seen Lady Yulika? Yes, doesn't she usually follow closely behind Her Majesty the Queen wherever she goes? It seems the Queen's favor towards her isn't what it used to be. Helena frowned. Although she hadn't attended many parties, their way of talking was a bit excessive. I say, it's very impolite for you all to gossip about others behind their backs. Just then, Yulika suddenly appeared. Would you let me join in on what you're discussing? Lady Yulika, you're here too. I suddenly need to use the bathroom, please excuse me. Looking at the fleeing crowd, Yulika couldn't help but mock. You're lucky you ran fast. And Helena, you're acting like a scoundrel too. Gossiping about others behind their backs, showing no class at all. Helena was stunned. You've got it wrong, I was trying to stop their behavior. I'm not stupid, I could see clearly you all were chattering together. That's not how it was, I'm really wronged here. And I don't know who previously spilled drinks on me and acted like nothing happened. Helena was really speechless, but she really didn't need to be so petty. But why do I feel something strange? Why does Yulika's black formal dress look so familiar? Although the color is different from my dress, the decorations are too similar. Looking at it this way, we're wearing the same style dress. Helena, my dress is also similar to yours. Caesar's appearance made Helena fully understand everything. This was Rowena's plan, to make me and Yulika have a showdown. Princess, good evening. Helena replied gracefully. Your Highness, good evening to you too. Caesar's eyes were only on Helena. I only want you by my side. Helena felt he was already beyond help. Many people are watching, don't talk nonsense. Caesar was arrogant and cold to others, but smiled when facing Helena. No excuses, I just want to stay by your side. The guests were shocked. After all, they had only seen the crown prince's cold arrogance. Only Helena knew that Caesar was actually like an adorable large dog. Caesar stared at Helena with a full smile. At this moment, someone interrupted their conversation. The newcomer had a proud expression. It was Lady Yulika's father. Caesar turned with a frown. Count, what business do you have? Your Highness, I have an urgent matter to report to you. Caesar didn't want to say much. Can't you see I'm busy right now? Oh, Your Highness, I just wanted to discuss the matter of eliminating magical beasts with you. Count, no need to say more. Thanks to you, the elimination of magical beasts went smoothly. Your Highness need not worry. After all, this is my duty work for His Majesty and the Empire. Helena was exasperated. Isn't this person just here to claim credit? Getting entangled with them is really headache-inducing. Before Helena could react, the Count actively engaged her. Princess, I have something to say to you. The confused Helena didn't understand what this person had to talk to her about. To celebrate your great achievements, my daughter would like to perform a piece for you. Please honor us by listening. Throughout the whole process, Yulika hadn't said a word. She was like a chess piece being moved around, completely losing her usual arrogance and rudeness. Helena responded politely. I'd be delighted. This is a performance prepared for me. I'm really looking forward to it. However, the Count's next words turned the confused Helena back to exasperation. Your Highness, this way please. My daughter has practiced for many days to learn this. Damn it, didn't he say to honor me and play for me to hear? Who would have thought the person being ignored would be herself? Well, this is actually better. Dealing with such people is quite tiring anyway. Might as well go to the back garden for a stroll and enjoy the scenery. Yulika played the piano carefully. Her father was very proud of this. While the surrounding guests whispered, the princess is today's protagonist. Yulika's behavior is really presumptuous. They felt Yulika was really pitiful because she could never gain the crown prince's love. Hearing these words, Yulika trembled while playing the piano. She silently encouraged herself. I am the noblest lady in the entire empire. I'm not pitiful at all. Caesar couldn't care less, no matter how beautifully Yulika played. He resolutely turned away to seek Helena. Helena in the back garden. Wearing a light, elegant blue dress, floating gracefully like a star of the ocean, containing endless gentleness and deep affection. Her hair smooth as seaweed, like an elf who walked out of the garden. Fresh and refined, her noble and elegant appearance made people fascinated. Helena was somewhat unhappy in her heart. After all, Yulika's family had interrupted her conversation with Caesar. There's no help for it. The Count always brings up His Majesty to highlight his own importance. If Caesar doesn't respond, he might be seen as discourteous. I wonder what Caesar is doing right now. Actually, Yulika is quite pitiful. Now she's controlled by her family. Without me, they might also be very happy. Caesar would also show her his boyish smile. And warm, solid embrace. And that passionate kiss. Helena recalled her moments with Caesar, feeling as if she had fallen into an emotional crisis. Obviously, Caesar wouldn't let her overthink. Helena, so you were here. I've been looking for you for so long. I was really worried about you. Caesar's appearance made Helena feel very delighted. She stretched out her arms. Caesar, can you give me a hug? Of course, as your student, I must obey teacher's orders. After saying this, he embraced Helena. Caesar, treating me like this will ruin me. My heart is already out of control. Caesar responded equally passionately. According to teacher's words, then I was already ruined by you long ago. Is that so? Then let's just be completely ruined together. Helena hadn't expected that liking someone could be so childish. But what does that matter? As long as he stays by my side, everything is worth it.